Good evening. We'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody who is here in chambers, and of course those who might be viewing through the internet, through our YouTube channel or other sources. We would like to turn some time over. Well, actually, this is this normal scheduled meeting of the Kingman City Council held at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. I'd like to turn some time over to our city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Watkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor Samley. Here. Councilmember Dykens.
Here.
Councilmember Savage.
Here.
Councilmember Staley.
Present.
Councilmember Walker is excused this evening. Councilmember Ward.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We would like to invite those who would like to participate with us in our invocation, which will be given by Pastor Dennis Cronkite of College Park Baptist Church. Afterwards, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could all stand for that. Annie, is Dennis here? Okay. Well, if we would just stand for a moment of silence and remember our brave brothers and sisters that are protecting our great country. Thank you. I'll lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The council may go into executive session for legal counsel in accordance with ARS 38-431.03A3 to discuss any agenda item. The following items may be discussed, considered, and decisions made relating thereto. We're going to change an item number 1, awards recognition. We're going to change order a little bit, and we're going to start off with 1C, Kingman Youth Advisory Council update and senior recognition, and turn some time over to our city clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Watkins. It is an honor to invite the Kingman Youth Advisory Council, or KAYAK as we call them, to come and give you guys an update this evening. And then after they are done providing their update, we would like to take a moment and recognize our graduating seniors. So if my youth council members could please come up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having us tonight. It's been a little while since we last had the chance to present, and we're excited to be back. Over the past year, we've been busy working on some truly great initiatives, and we're looking forward to sharing those updates with you. From new projects to behind-the-scenes improvements, it's been a year full of progress, collaboration, and a lot of hard work, and we can't wait to walk you through it. Before we do that, I would like to take a moment to recognize our members. I am Clementine Wilcox, Chairperson, June Stelly, Co-Chair, Andy Applewhite-Perkins, Secretary, Elias Wilcock, Treasurer, Elise Housen, Publicity Chair, Jane Esplin, Member, Samantha Batty, Member, Claire Brandt, Member, Logan Walsh, Member, Jack Fredrickson, Member, Lincoln Wyatt, Member, and Tiana Brown, Member.
One of our first projects identified by our members was the need to support the community with helping to keep our parks clean. KAYAK has done that by completing twice a month park cleanups at Centennial Park and at the skate park for the last 2 years. We are proud to be a part of Kingman, and we want to make sure our parks are being taken care of for everyone to enjoy.
For the past 2 years, KAYAK has partnered with our local high schools and the Chamber to host a coat and bedding drive, and each year this community has showed up in a big way. Because of that support, we've been able to donate hundreds of coats to organizations like Kingman Aid to Abused People and the Boys and Girls Club, helping keep local families warm. On top of that, we've provided cases of bedding to sleep in heavenly peace, giving kids not just a bed, but a comfortable place to sleep. It's a small act with a big impact, and it's all made possible because of the generosity of this community. We would like to extend a special thanks to Councilmember Walker for his generous donation this year.
To piggyback on what Andy shared, we've had the honor of partnering with Sleep in Heavenly Peace over the past 2 years. helping with both bed builds and deliveries. This organization has a simple but powerful mission, making sure no child in our community has to sleep on the floor. A bed might seem like a basic thing, but for many families, it's something they simply don't have, and it makes a world of a difference. Being part of this project has shown us just how real that need is right here in our own community. Sleep in Heavenly Peace is always looking for volunteers to help with the growing demand. So if you ever wanted a hands-on way to make an immediate impact, we'd love to have you join us at a future build.
Over the past year, we've been hard at work on our biggest project yet. If you've driven by the block wall along Mojave Wash near the library and Centennial Park, you've probably noticed it's become a bit of an eyesore. And we thought, what if we could turn that into something incredible? So back in September, we got the ball rolling. We met with Walmart manager to ask for permission to transform that massive 660-foot wall into a mural, and we got a yes. We started meeting regularly to map out ideas, build a timeline, gather resources, and connect with talented local artists who want to partner with us. We've reached out to the community for donations, and the response has been amazing. Working with our creative consults has, as we like to call them, we've began developing an initial design that reflects Kingman and the beautiful desert we live in, and we can't wait for you to see it come to life. We are excited to create something wonderful for the community and visitors to enjoy, with painting starting late summer to early fall.
Kayak is also making some noise on Instagram, and people are paying attention. Our posts are getting great engagement with likes, shares, and reposts from across the community. We use the platform to spotlight our incredible members, highlight the projects we're working on, and most recently, celebrate our graduating seniors. It's been a fun and meaningful way to tell our story and to showcase the impact Kayak is making.
As we wind down the school year, we're already looking ahead and getting excited about what's next. With 6 of our amazing seniors graduating, that means we have openings for new members to join Kayak. It's a great opportunity for students who are looking for a unique leadership experience and have a passion for serving the community. If this sounds like someone you know, applications are available online at the City of Kingman website, or you can reach out to Ms. Meredith at 928-753-8335 for more information. We can't wait to welcome the next group of leaders.
As we look ahead to next year, we're excited to keep building momentum. We're exploring a youth town hall to give to young people a voice in shaping ideas and policies with City Council, along with fun, high-energy events for local high school students. Thank you again for the opportunity to share. We're happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions for this great council, this youth council? Yes, Councilor.
My question is, do you still need donations for your mural project?
Yes, we do. If you are interested in donating, or you know someone who's passionate about our community, you can contact our lovely city clerk, Annie Meredith, and she can get you the information you need for that.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions?
I just had a
Yes, Vice
comment.
Mayor.
I am so encouraged by you standing before us today. Our youth needs more of a voice in our community, and I'm really excited. I know that Clerk Meredith puts a lot of time and effort into this group. I am just so grateful for those of you that served. Sometimes it's thankless, and sometimes it's very, very heartwarming. So you have just made Kingman shine, and I want to thank you, all the seniors that will be departing us. Thank you for your service. And for those that are staying with us, I'm excited to see how this group grows. Thank you, Clerk Meredith, for all your help and your encouragement and keeping them engaged and excited and interested to serve their community. So this is just the beginning, and I'm looking forward to the future. So thank you so much.
I also echo what the Vice Mayor said. And actually, in one of your statements, one of you said of leadership, you are leaders representing our youth in our city. And what a great example all of you are giving, and especially giving service. Because we all know, especially high schoolers nowadays, you guys are so busy. And yet, this is another meeting you're taking the time out of your busy lives to come to and share muscle, thoughts, love, all of that. You share your lives with others, and we appreciate that. Once again, what a great example. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And of course, we congratulate those seniors that are moving on to bigger and better things, right? So thanks again for being here tonight. Thank you. Clerk Meredith.
Yeah, if I could ask Manager Walsh to come down, and we will present the seniors with their recognition plaques. And then if all of Kayak can still stay here, I would like to get a group picture with the council and Manager Walsh. All right. First, we have Andy Applewhite Perkins. Braden Bischoff is not here with us this evening. We have Jane Esplin. Elise Hausen cannot be with us this evening either. We have Elias Wilcock. And Clementine Wilcox. And if I may, Mayor,
Yes.
I just
Counsel?
want to say how proud I am of these kids. Sorry. You really grow close to them. They are so smart and they are so driven, and it really just makes me proud, and it gives me just so much encouragement for our future, because these could potentially be representatives at the council in the future, and just coming back to the community that they so diligently served as high schoolers. So I just want to extend my thanks and my appreciation to them as well.
Thank you, Clerk Meredith. Picture of all of us?
I'm going to have you guys stand in the front. And we get the seniors in the middle. Your thingies. I'm just going to put this down a little bit. Just a little bit.
Presentation.
All of the people. And I get you Trish. Yeah. Can I have you step forward just a little bit, Tim? And Smiley, can I have you step just in that window right there? Yep. And I will go back there.
You should be in the front.
No, I'm good.
I was to say you should be.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Cheese. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You guys are free to go.
Interacting with our great youth, that makes it all worthwhile of doing what we do. It's amazing. So proud of them. We also are going to do item 1D, Spring 2026 Citizens Academy Graduate Recognition. The city manager will recognize the following individuals for their completion of the 7-week Citizens Academy program. Ramona Baptista, John Berger, Tammy Berger, Amy Carrera, Elliot Shalou, Christopher Cranny, Janice Dimmick, Janice Duval, Casey Farrell, Buck Heath, Kathy Heath, Barbara Lane, Susan Levante, Deb Liverance, Kristen Morris, and Carol Roby. I hope I said all your names correctly or close enough. So anyway, do you want to, Manager Walsh, do you want to take over for that, or does Clerk Meredith?
So, Mayor, if I could have you and Manager Walsh come down, I will call the names. If you could come up when your name is called, and then they will hand you your certificate, and then please wait at the front so that we can get a picture at the end. Ramona Baptista. John Berger. Tammy Berger. Amy Carrera. Elliot Shalou. Christopher Cranny. Janice Dimick. Janice Duval. Casey Farrell. Buck Heath. Kathy Heath. Barbara Lane. Coming from the back. Susan Levante. Deb Liverance. Kristen Morris. And Carol Roby.
Once again, can we clap for all of them all as a combined group? Thank It smells better
Yes, taller in the back.
Smooch over, come on. That's a good color on you. Thank you.
Jim and Jamie, can you guys come over a little bit into those windows? Perfect, yes. Smiley, I cannot see you. Elliot, I cannot see you. Can I have you come down? I have you
You're a little taller than I am. Like, oh.
Sean, over just a little bit. Yeah, get cozy. And can I, Jamie and Sean, can you guys switch?
Sure.
Thanks.
Hey.
And then I think we can see. All right, everybody look at Sarah.
And I know that if you ask any of our graduates from this class, as previous classes, they will tell you it was an enjoyable thing to do. They know so much more about the city and the inner workings of the city. And once again, we appreciate them taking the time to do it.
It's an amazing program. If you have the opportunity, take it.
It's an opportunity to get away from the light for 3 hours. Wow.
Staying behind now, I can't take you anywhere.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much to council for giving us this opportunity. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll do item 1A, Proclamation 57th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. And I always enjoy reading this because our clerks do so much. So, Vice Mayor? Are we all going to fit? I know. Okay. Okay. Clerk Meredith, do you want to show the video first, is what you'd like to do?
Do you want to read the proclamation while Aaron's trying to figure out the audio?
We can do that. Okay, okay, that's what we'll do then. Proclamation 57th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of our local government, exists throughout the world. And the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants. And the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal services to all. The professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now therefore, I, Ken Watkins, Mayor of the City of Kingman, do proclaim the week of May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our City Clerk, Annie Meredith, and Deputy City Clerk, Tanya Ferguson, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And of course, I have signed it and witnessed by our City Clerk, Annie Meredith. And once again, we recognize them and are so thankful for all they do. I know all of council would echo what I'm saying. They do an amazing job. In fact, council, is there any other comment you want to add to this?
Did you know the City of Kingman has been around since 1952?
Sorry.
We'll get to you.
Did you know the City of Kingman has...
Okay. You first.
Counselor.
I've had the pleasure of being here for 10 years now, and I know how hard you work for our city and how much you love serving our community, and I just wanted to thank you for that. We all really appreciate you, Annie.
Thank you.
I did want to say
Yes, Vice Mayor.
as well, I haven't had the pleasure of having her that long, but I will have had the pleasure of having her for 8 years when I'm done with my term. And the compassion you show for our community, the integrity that you have, just keeping this herd of cats together is a job unto itself, but you really exemplify what it means to be a clerk. I can't imagine what you do in a day and how you get it all done, but you do it with a smile, and you always are willing to help. You answer every question that gets posed to you, and you always you're leading with a smile all the time. So I appreciate you more than you will ever know.
Thank you.
There's not much I can add to that. As bested by the women in our lives, and we appreciate you all, and Annie and Tanya.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and I was going to say, I definitely couldn't do what I do without the support from my Deputy City Clerk, Tanya Ferguson. So our amazing communications and marketing coordinator put together this fun little Clerks Week video. This just covers one of the many areas that the clerk's office is responsible for, but at council's request, I will show this for everybody.
You know the City of Kingman has been around since 1952, and every city council meeting since then has been officially recorded. In the 1950s, clerks meticulously documented public meetings using manual typewriters, carefully transcribing discussions, motions, and decisions to create the official record. These records served as a vital source of transparency and accountability, ensuring the public had a clear and accurate account of what took place. Back in the 50s, clerks didn't have the convenience of a delete key or an undo button. Every document was typed by hand on a manual typewriter. Even a small mistake could ruin the entire page. The process required patience, precision, and a strong attention to detail because once ink hit the paper, there was no easy way to fix it. By the 1980s, clerks were using electric typewriters and early computers, but minutes still had to be printed and filed, stored by hand.
documents are created on computers. Meetings are live streamed for easy review, and tools like autosave and editing help ensure accuracy in real time. Mistakes can be corrected quickly and efficiently, but the goal remains unchanged, capturing a clear, accurate record of every meeting. And one thing hasn't changed, we still keep the original meeting minutes. These are the official permanent records of the city dating all the way back to the incorporation of 1952. A lot has changed over the years, but making sure the record is right hasn't. Municipal clerks make sure your city's decisions are recorded, preserved, and accessible. Happy Municipal Clerks Week from the City of Kingman Clerk's Office.
Once again, Annie, Tanya, thank you for all you do. Actually, it's heavy lifting, and I think Vice Mayor said it well, keeping us cats in line. Did you want?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Come on, Council. I'll follow Vice Mayor this time.
I'm in front, 'cause I'm not short.
Guess we need to post it off, huh?
Turn to high.
I'm just ambidextrous, that's all. You know, once again, the proclamations and these recognitions are the amazing part of this job, and we truly appreciate it. Item number 2, call to the public, comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council should fill out request forms.
Mayor,
Oh, yes.
I think we have 1B, the Building Safety Month as well.
Oh, we do. I'm sorry, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Carl. Okay, item 1B, Proclamation Building Safety Month, and once again, another proclamation. Proclamation Building Safety Month, May 2026. Whereas our city is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, territorial, tribal, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes and standards to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And these modern building codes and standards include safeguards to protect the people from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, and earthquakes. And Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And Built to Last, the theme for Building Safety Month 2026, encourages us all to get involved and raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year, in observance of the Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local, state, tribal, territorial, and federal building safety and fire prevention departments in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, I, Ken Watkins, Mayor of the City of Kingman do proclaim the month of May 2026 as Building Safety Month. And in doing so, urge the residents of our community to join us as we participate in Building Safety Month. And then, of course, it says, as always, in witness, I have hereby set my hand and caused to be effected the seal of the City of Kingman, done at the City of Kingman, Arizona, this 5th day of May 2026, signed by myself and our city clerk, Annie Meredith. Once again, these great people protect us in the buildings that we live and play and recreate. So thanks again for all of them. Annie, you want to we need a... Jason.
Mayor Watkins, Council, thank you very much. Being able to recognize the gentlemen that make up our field personnel, as well as the ladies that take in our applications and our permits on a daily basis, being able to set aside a month and be able to recognize what they do for our community, it is truly a great honor. So with that, I do have our building official with us today, as well as one of our code officers, Benny DeBaca. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, no, we appreciate all that you do in keeping our city, trying to keep it on the straight and narrow as far as the realm of what you are in charge of. So we appreciate that.
We do try.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyway, should we get a picture? Okay.
Exercise tonight.
I know, I went wrong shoes.
Good to see you. You guys,
Thank you.
I know. I'm just trying to keep y'all guessing. Okay. Moving on to item number 2, call to the public. Those wishing to address the council should fill out request forms in advance. Comments from the public will be restricted to items not on the agenda, with the exception of those on the consent agenda. There will be no comments allowed that advertise for a particular person or group. Comments should be limited to no longer than 3 minutes. The council may not respond to speakers during the call to the public. The council may direct the city manager to study the matter or request the matter be placed on a future agenda. It looks like we have one citizen that would like to share her thoughts. Teresa Roundy.
Dear Mayor, Council, I am speaking for the parents of Mojave County who are afraid to speak. Family law is the largest fraudulent trafficking enterprise put on the American public. With an 82% brain and neurological damage rate of children occurring in family court without any evidence or due process, requires immediate abolishment. This course of action is the most fiscally responsible solution. Any representative not addressing it is not fiscally responsible. When domestic child welfare policies violate human rights, that proves groomers and predators are running it. Arrests need to be made for the protection of children and families. Parents have a constitutional right to meaningful contact with their children. Children have a constitutional right to both of their parents. Every mayor, city council, county clerk, police forces, and school districts are liable for the 82% rate of family court egregious damages. Lawsuits will bankrupt every community if swift and appropriate action is not taken. Mayors and city councils ignoring family court crimes with the malicious severing of attachment with mere gossip and smear campaigns is complicity and negligence of duty. It's grotesque abuse for people tasked to protect us to celebrate their failed protection and gaslight community members in media reports. It's sadistic abuse, and it's responsible for the highest suicide rate in adults. Failure to train on coercive control abuse makes police officers and other institutional players nothing more than trained kidnappers and trained abusers under the hierarchy of hell in the toxic family system. The system is unsafe. It's not going to be business as usual in the kidnapping of 82% of children entering family court. The grooming gang game players are all going out in handcuffs for the worst crimes ever known to humanity against children and families. In the months I've been speaking on this issue, this council has solved safety issues for driveways in this community, and to ignore what's happening to children and the elderly through institutional abusers in the county is oath-breaking. Clearly, you have shown yourselves capable of solving problems, and trafficking of children in family court is the most important. Please do your jobs to protect children in Mojave County, and please stop taking advantage of vulnerable families raised under hierarchy in the toxic family system. These families deserve support and services.
Teresa, you're out of time. Thank you. And as always, our comments to the public, many times our staff members are here, and of course our city manager and council, we hear what you're saying. And so we recognize the importance of what you're saying. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Watkins, and I'm a former alumni student council member, and so it was really wonderful to see that. Also, my stepmom was, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Teresa. Item number 3, that's the only citizen who'd like to share comments on comments from the public. Item number 3, consent agenda. All matters listed here are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Council, anything that needs to be pulled and discussed? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion then approving our consent agenda, item 3?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, action items. Approval of the ordinance number 1998, construction standards and limitations on access to the Flying Fortress Parkway. Ordinance number 1998 establishes construction standards for the future widening of Flying Fortress, as well as access standards to foster safe and efficient operation of the Flying Fortress Parkway. Standards include limiting the number of potential vehicular conflict points along the Flying Fortress Parkway, as well as requiring regular spacing for access points, thereby facilitating synchronization of traffic signals to provide for progression in both directions of travel. Staff recommends approval. City Manager, I know we have Robert down. Is he going to come?
Yeah, this ordinance is basically, to put it simply, to try and avoid Flying Fortress from turning into Stockton Hill Jr. There's a lot of traffic problems and congestion on Stockton Hill, which I believe is largely due to the number of access points and the uneven and frequent spacing of traffic signals. So those are the things that we're trying to avoid as Flying Fortress develops. The main objectives or things that are components of what we're trying to do is, number one, to limit the number of signalized intersections, and we're trying to get them limited to half-mile spacing, which would enable synchronization of the signals in both directions at about a little under 40 miles an hour if it's done right, which would be a huge improvement over the way things are in Stockton Hill. And also the number of driveways would be limited Actually, there would be no direct driveway access. It would all be via these half-mile signalized intersections and quarter-mile right-in, right-out intersections. And this is not really something that drastic because most of the development proposals that we've seen along the west side are proposing to build a large ditch that would basically intercept the washes coming southeast to northwest across the properties, the object of which is to obviously maximize the amount of developable property. So that ditch in itself would create a kind of an economic barrier to very frequent driveway or street access because it would take a very large box culvert to cross it. So I think just from an economic standpoint, this is probably going to be pretty close to what would happen even without this ordinance. But we basically are trying to provide the safest possible access on and off of Flying Fortress and the best possible traffic operation on Flying Fortress as far as progression and speed. And so basically, you know, Flying Fortress is a blank canvas. There's no development whatsoever there now. And this is our chance to really develop it in a way that will promote both traffic operations on Flying Fortress and safety for vehicles accessing on and off of Flying Fortress from adjacent developments.
Okay. Robert, thank you.
Any questions?
Council, any questions for Robert? Yes, Councilor Dykens.
In this ordinance, it does not refer to anything dealing with left turn lanes or left turns. Would it be appropriate to include verbiage, something to do with left turn lanes will only be allowed at the signalized access points, something on that idea, so those are addressed in the ordinance?
We could add that. I think, again, the ditch would pretty much accomplish that, but we could add it to the ordinance just to, you know, memorialize it.
I guess I would argue that it's pretty much inferred that you can't do it unless there's a boulevard, which would be at a signalized light, to be able to do a left turn lane.
Yeah, I believe the ordinance says that the signalized intersections are half mile and that right in, right outs are only at the quarter mile points. That pretty much eliminates any left turns, but we could add that, man.
I don't think it's necessary, but if council requests it, we'll bring it back.
Councilor Dykens?
Well, if it's obvious that there will always be a left turn at the signals, then okay. But I just figured we should address it to ensure that when a signal is built and put in place, that there is the appropriate turning capability of the vehicles. But if not, so be it.
When, Robert, for clarification, at the quarter mile mark where there's only going to be right turn, right out, is there going to be medians in the middle? So that will be, okay, I would assume there is, but I'm just for the public, for everybody to know since we're talking about it. So that would eliminate any other left turn lanes except for at the intersections. So, okay?
We could,
Yes,
Mayor,
City
we
Manager.
could, so Carl's correct. It is inferred, basically, that your access across the parkway would be at those half miles. But, I mean, to be clear, if we wanted to make sure that it was absolutely clear, the only left turns would be at those half miles, it could be easily added to it, so.
But if it was added, would we have to go through this whole process again, or could we just add it as is?
We'd have to bring it back. If you would like, you can approve it tonight, and so it's on the books, and then we can always amend it and add another subsection.
let's just approve it as is and we'll let it go.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for bringing that attention, Jim, appreciate it. Any other questions for Robert or staff? Okay, can we have a motion then approving item 4A, approval of ordinance number 1998?
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, approval of resolution number 5615, approving the daily fee and season pass increase for the Surback Cliff Municipal Golf Course. At their March 3rd, 2026 regularly scheduled meeting, the City Council adopted a notice of intent to consider increasing certain rates at the Surback Cliffs Golf Course and set a public hearing for May 5th, 2026. The proposed rate increases include daily and season pass rates. Resolution number 5615 approves the proposed fee schedule effective June 1st, 2026. Staff recommends approval.
Not that one, I don't think that's the season passes. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. All the information that was in the packet, there was one, if this is approved, we would like for it to be approved with the changes that were made at the last council meeting, which would be weekdays, seniors and veterans, 18 holes walking would go from 30 to 27. That change was not made on this document. And so that would need to be made in the motion for approving it. And these rates were all discussed and reviewed by the Golf Commission, and they're the ones who recommended all the daily fee rates, and then staff recommends the season passes and trail fees go up as well. And we know that our golf course is a great value even with this increase. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, I guess. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mr. Mearsman from council or discussion? Okay. Can we have a motion then approving item 4B, approval of resolution number 5615? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Comment.
Councilor Dykens, I'm sorry.
This motion needs to include that seniors and veterans on the 18-hole walking, the fee is not $30, but is $27. Just like
That
Mike
motion, right?
stated.
Yeah, that's what I just
Okay.
mentioned, so.
So, Carl, do we need to do anything different?
We just need to make sure the motion's clear that it includes that. And like I say, it was just basically a typo that just didn't get addressed after the last meeting where Councilman Dykens had suggested
Okay.
it.
Smiley, you want to
I will.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it?
No, or Councilor Dykens, I get either one, improving.
I agree. Just with
Adding-
that change to 27 from 30.
There's recognizing the typo and correcting it.
Will do.
Okay?
Second.
Ask a question. What
Somebody-
about the annual fee?
Mayor,
Sir,
I'm
sir,
sorry.
did you need to fill out, I'm sorry, you need to fill out a form?
But what about the annual fee? I understand that. What about the annual fee?
Mayor, you can't engage unless they're at the window or at the mic,
Oh, that's true.
and they should sign up to discuss.
Sir, actually, you bring up a valid point. We'd like to hear from you. It is an important matter, so if you'd like to come forward real quick and express, but please do it through the mic so that we have you on record.
I
But-
didn't sign anything?
But Mayor, we also have a motion on the floor.
Sorry.
I know, it wasn't seconded, I know.
Well, I believe the motion was, I thought the motion was seconded, but
Well, after, with the improvement, was it after? Oh, yeah, that's true, Councilor Dykens.
But if you would like to have some discussion after the motion, you can, to make sure that
always been my
council's all
Sorry.
on
Okay.
board with that.
Okay, thank you, Carl, for, yes. So we have a motion and a second, but we do have a citizen would like to share his feelings on it. And
I
say-
don't
please
see
state
in your proposal what the final yearly fee will be, especially for veterans or senior citizens that are residents of Kingman. I don't see that. And it's not been really published. Now, I'll be honest, I just paid my yearly fee on Saturday, so I know what it'd be for the next year. But there are a lot of people I play golf with that are concerned with what the costs are gonna be going down the road and whether they will be able to afford playing golf at Surbat Cliffs anymore. I have a couple people I play golf with who play 7 days a week, who are now talking about only playing 5 days a week because the cost will go up. So can we clarify what the cost will be going forward?
We will do that. So
Especially
actually-
for residents and veterans like me.
Would you state your name, though, for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin Paulus.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. I know we did expand it, and actually Mike, I know, is nodding his head that he'll clarify and answer that question for you. But we also did, if I remember right, expand this to not only residents of the city of Kingman, but anybody who is a water payer, who is a member of our, who buys water from the city of Kingman. So that's been opened up to that to even make it more equitable for everybody. It's in the overall general area. So anyway, if you want to have a seat, and Mike will clarify and answer those questions for you.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it, I'm sorry.
Nope, you bring a valid question. Thank you.
The rates he's referring to are in the agenda packet. Somebody's pulling it up here, I guess.
The other,
Not that page. That's
So
the
they were
daily fees.
published. Of
Yeah,
course, I
they're
know they're
published.
published, and yeah.
There's not a veterans season pass rate. There's a senior season pass rate, but there's never been a veteran season pass rate.
Okay.
Annie, do you have access to to the publication, the resolution? The resolution has both the annual passes and the daily rates.
I've got it on paper here.
But I can give you those numbers. The new rate for the annual pass for the 7-day would be $1,512. The annual pass for weekdays only would be $1,210 annually.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, there we are. Excuse me. So yes, I just wanted to make sure that I knew they were published,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure the public understands, and it is out there. It's on the city website.
Right.
It is available. So,
Mayor,
yes, Vice Mayor.
can we ask Tim to repeat that, please, a little bit louder? That print is very small to read.
You bet. So the way it reads there is the annual pass for weekdays only would be $1,210. The annual pass for 7 days would be $1,512. I can read the rest if you like. To include your spouse, annual pass weekdays would be an additional $578. Include your spouse, annual passes 7 days would be $699. Then the 6 month, 7-day pass card included is $1,400. The private cart trail fee is $1,045. The include your spouse private cart trail fee is $523. And then we did add this annual $200 private cart registration and paid daily green fee and cart fees. So for those that don't want to pay the annual trail fee, they can pay a one-time, an annual $200, and that registers their cart. They can use it. They don't have to pay the annual. They can just pay when they go.
Actually,
I'm asking people around because I have.
sir, actually, why don't you come back up again, because we do want to hear what you're.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, Kevin.
Council, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all right. Please come up.
I'm sorry.
No, we want to try to accommodate our citizens, so you have some valid points we want to make sure that everybody knows.
So, I'm sure you guys heard me over there. I'm looking at the annual pass, but I don't see annual pass with a card. I just see annual pass. So is the annual pass include the cart? And if it does, that's a great deal, and I will leave right now and go away and never bother you guys ever again. But I just paid, and I didn't pay that.
Well, you're lucky you paid already. That's good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Yes. Councilor Beckins.
A different chart, not this one, but a different chart that I'm looking at says the senior season passes 2026, staff recommended. The first line is annual pass, weekdays, 12/10. Annual pass, cart included weekdays, same.
Really?
So it's the same as the annual pass?
No, it's the same as it was last year.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna say, because I was
Mayor.
about to ask for a refund of $1,000.
Okay,
Mayor.
yeah, now I understand.
Mayor, if I may, so in the resolution, only the changes are included in the resolution. So if it's not included in the resolution, it remains the same as what it was last year.
Oh. Yeah, because I'm gonna go back to the golf course, and not, everybody's gonna ask me what I found out tonight.
Perfect.
And there are a lot of people my age, us young fellas, that are gonna ask me what happened. So, thank you so much, and again, I apologize.
Kevin, you're
for
fine. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor, since I spoke wrong, because I don't know what the word same means, the annual pass weekdays is $1,210. The annual pass with the cart included is the same as what it's always been or has been in the past, $2,255.
Right.
Sorry for my mistake.
This resolution only reflects the ones that are changing. If they were going to stay the same, then they're not included in this.
Okay. Yes, Counselor.
Mike, do you have these posted at the golf course?
They're posted on the city's website, and we have them at the golf course as well.
Yeah, if you could print out the new fees and put them out on the counter
We'll
for
do
a few
that.
weeks, I think that'd be
Yeah.
really helpful. Thank you.
We'll do that. And these will go into effect June 1st.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
Mayor, just to reiterate, to
Yes,
Councilwoman Staley's point, they're not effective immediately.
Right.
We do have a month basically to make everybody aware and have that out there. And to encourage anybody that is ready for an annual pass, get in before June 1st and you'll get the current rates rather than the proposed.
Another reason why you should post them, get people to sign up for their passes now.
Okay. We're good. Any other
Yes.
discussion?
No.
One thing I was going to comment on, I do like the fact that it sort of encourages us to get our spouse out there in golf. It gives them a great discount.
And as I said, we looked at a lot of other golf courses, and our rates are still very affordable, even with these changes. So our golf course is a great value, really.
Okay.
Well,
thank
since you brought that up, Mayor,
Yes.
I wanted to tell the public, we have a lot of non-golfers out there that really are hitting council hard about our loss of revenue on the golf course. So, the golf course needs to at least get revenue neutral. And we do have a good golf course right now. We are making improvements. We put a lot of capital monies into that golf course last year. So we are getting it up to where it needs to be. And that also comes with increasing rates to play on a great golf course. So I concur with you. It is a great golf course to play. It's been undervalued for so long, and we owe it to the citizens that don't golf to at least get that golf course to revenue neutral, and that we're on our way. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Okay, we have a motion. Counselor Ward, are you good with everything that's discussed? No changes with that motion? Okay, and then Counselor Dykens, you seconded that? Okay, so we have a standing motion for item 4B. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Item 4C, approval of the City of Kingman Strategic Priorities Town Hall Report and Action Plan. On March 27th, 2026, the City of Kingman hosted a Strategic Priorities Town Hall to gather input from community members and stakeholders on key focus areas. The attached report summarizes the feedback received, highlights key themes and trends, and presents an actionable plan with identified next steps. Additional items identified through the town hall process may require further planning and funding considerations. Staff recommends approval. Welcome, Sarah.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. I am here tonight to go over the results and the action plans that staff have put together that came out of our town hall that we did on March 27th at Lee Williams High School. We had 73 participants, and they all got together and engaged in an active conversation regarding our strategic priority in our plan. The topics were communication, economic development, infrastructure, and city operations and finance. Just to quickly go over the town hall, it was broken into 3 rounds. The first round was discussion was sector-based, where participants shared perspectives with peers from similar backgrounds. Round 2 was mixed groups, where we brought together diverse voices for a broader community perspective. And then round 3 is where everyone returned to their original groups for closing thoughts, insights, and final recommendations. Discussion was gathered through table scribes at each of the groups, and after the town hall, staff got together and went through all of the comments and recommendations and reviewed them based on frequency of mention, consistency across the groups, and put together this report. So the purpose of tonight is to go over the report. I'm going to break down the key themes in each of the priority areas and summarize the major takeaways from each strategic priority. And then also go over next steps for consideration, outline potential next steps for each priority along with a timeline. And then this report should help guide future discussions and future budgeting processes. So we'll start with community engagement and outreach. Some of the key themes we saw from the town hall were the need for a centralized, easy to access information hub, expanded communications. While we do have a lot on social media and email, they were looking for text alerts and more traditional, like mailer, utility bill inserts. They would like to see increased public visibility of officials through events and neighborhood meetings, continued town halls, roundtables, and surveys, more simplified messaging in plain language across communications, and strengthening two-way communication and follow-up with residents. Some of the key themes we saw with economic development were they would like to see strengthened workforce development through education, certification, and training programs, address affordable housing needs aligned with job opportunities and wages, encourage businesses and growth and diversification with strategic incentives, promote infill development and vacant and underutilized buildings, plan for sustainable managed annexation and growth, and expand family-friendly amenities like a recreational center, and link economic development to quality of life improvements. Some of the key themes of infrastructure were roadway maintenance, expansion, traffic flow, and unpaved roads, drainage and stormwater management needs, water and wastewater infrastructure, more clearer tools like maps and transparency when communicating, improve safety and connectivity with pedestrians, bikes, and alternative transportation, and expanded park open spaces and recreational facilities, and an emphasis on sustainable funding strategies such as growth pays for growth. And then fiscal and organizational responsibility. Some of the key themes were increased accountability and transparency with clear decision and spending explanations, improve public education about city processes and funding, address permitting process, timelines, consistency, and efficiency, prioritize strategic investments in business development and workforce, enhance community appearance and curb appeal, focus on key development areas like Flying Fortress, support balanced growth, and strengthen trust through responsive government. And now we'll go through the next steps that staff put together along with timelines for each of the categories. Community engagement and outreach for the first 30 days would be implement text-based updates and notifications through the city app, which we've already done. Expand use of digital messaging boards for broader city communication. Begin implementing plain language standards across public materials. And then within the next 90 days, launch a You Said We Did initiative to highlight how community feedback is used. Within the next 6 months, to assess and refine current social media and engagement practices, develop short, department-focused educational video series for social media, and within the next 12 months, we plan on transitioning to a more user-friendly city-based website, which we then hopefully can develop a centralized hub on the website where it will be like a one-shop for everyone to get updates, projects, and services. We're looking into creating more utility bill inserts and mailers for traditional marketing, evaluate feasibility and potential for neighborhood level meetings across the community, and continue to host public events such as town halls, workshops, and open houses. When it comes to economic development, the next steps for the next 60 to 90 days, obtain quarterly reports on retail and restaurant opportunities through our retail coach partnership, explore incentive opportunities such as fee waivers, zoning, and employment. Within the next 6 months, create small business workshops in the community in partnership with the Small Business Development Center, collaborate with local businesses to identify workforce gaps and align training programs, develop a map of available and attainable housing and development opportunities, explore feasibility of requiring remaining viable vacant properties at the airport, And then the next 12 months would be to develop a marketing plan to promote the industrial park, install a zip-crew shade structure as part of park enhancements, and complete some tennis court resurfacing and convert one tennis court into a pickleball court. And next steps for infrastructure over the next 30 to 90 days would be to update and maintain the streets landing page, consider a half-cent sale tax for ongoing road maintenance. Within the next 6 months would be prepare a report on unpaved streets with cost estimates for improvement, identify priority locations for future bike lanes, and within the next 12 months would be finalize the city's drainage manual along with creating a more user-friendly one for the average citizen to be able to comprehend, complete an impact and capacity fee study, create a GIS-based map of all of our capital improvement projects, and complete the Trails Master Plan. And then on fiscal and organizational responsibility, the next steps within the 90 days would be to promote the citizens' budget and open finance tools. And within the next 12 months would be explore opportunities to enhance our code enforcement efforts, develop a Team Kingman one-shop campaign for the development process, and host a one-day mini Citizens Academy Expo. And if you have any questions or discussions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Comments or questions for Sarah? Yes, Counselor.
Thank you for that, Sarah. Just a quick question. The GIS maps, can you explain that, please?
We were thinking of using our GIS system so that they could go and look to see exactly.
What is GIS?
It's our city map. So online, we have our online map, so it's referenced as the GIS map. But yeah, geographical information systems is what GIS is. But yeah, basically the idea with that one is taking, you know, when council approves the budget, there's a number of capital projects. So the idea is create a layer for our GIS map that shows where all of these projects are proposed. That way, as people want to see, hey, what is the city up to? We'll have all of those locations, and it's not just eastern improvements. They'll be able to see on the map where those improvements will be. So that's the idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other comments or questions?
I just had a question about the You Said We Did, and I think that's fantastic. There are so many times when the public doesn't even know that we've addressed a concern of the public's, but it's just something that happens. How do you plan to get the word out on that campaign?
Social media, whether you do graphics, short videos, you know, this is what the community wanted, this is how we've improved, this is what we've done.
Okay, perfect. I really like that, and I think the public's going to appreciate that. Thank you. Well done.
Anything else? Yes, Counselor Saley.
I just wanted to thank you, Sarah and Annie and Tina, for organizing the town hall. I thought it was a great turnout, and since you held it, I have received a lot of feedback from people that were in attendance, and they all have positive things to say. They felt like their time was well spent, that they had meaningful conversations, and they were really appreciative of having the opportunity, and they would like to do it again. And I also love this report. I think it's very comprehensive, and we can really take a deep dive into the overall feedback and especially the timeline of when we're going to make these improvements. I appreciate the whole process, and I'm looking forward to doing more of them. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, and of course, all staff that helped you put all this report together. And of course, the town hall ditto with everything that has been said. So if there's no further discussion or comments on this, we need a motion then approving item 4C, approval of the City of Kingman Strategic Priorities Town Hall Report and Action Plan.
So moved.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Item number 5, public hearings. 5A, annexation AN 25-001. Annexation of approximately 4,238 acres to the City of Kingman, located north of Wallapai Mountain Road and east of Cherokee Street. Annexation AN 25-001, a city-initiated annexation of approximately 4,238 acres to the City of Kingman, located north of Wallapai Mountain Road and east of Cherokee Street. This area includes approximately 1,073 acres for future residential development, with 713 acres to be zoned rural residential, 320 acres zoned R1 through 10 single-family residential, minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet, 40 acres zoned R2, multifamily residential, maximum 19 DUAC, what's? Dwelling units, okay, per acre. 127 acres zoned C3, general commercial, and 3,038 acres zoned open space. Staff recommends approval. Jason, welcome again.
Mayor, Council, thank you. If council would allow me, I would like to present items 5A and 5B together. They'll just require separate actions at the end, but that way it's all concluded in one presentation for the audience this evening. The two annexations that are before you this evening, just a little bit of background for the public. This particular project started back in 2024 at the direction from the council for staff to go out and research and prepare a comprehensive report to evaluate potential annexation of 5 areas. In January of 2025, an additional area was to be considered, and that was the addition of the East Wallapai Mountain foothills. March of 2025, a comprehensive report fiscal analysis was presented to this body. Council did at that time direct staff to proceed with filing an annexation application for the 2 areas. In general, what it was originally looked at was the East Wallapai foothills, the 1,673 acres, and the airport annexation, which includes the airport area, and then just the commercial parcels that front Andy Devine. It does not go beyond the parcels that actually front Andy Devine itself. And that total was 3,415 acres. In December of 2025, and again in March of 26, we were debating in regards to the boundary itself for the East Wallapai foothills. At council's direction, we did determine a boundary, and which brought the overall East Foothills annexation area to 4,238 acres, of which about 3,038 of those acres was all BLM land, Bureau of Land Management. So for the ordinance and intent to annex, we approved an ordinance for the filing of the blank petition for the airport area. That was back in November of 2025. And then again, for the East Wallapai foothills, we just approved the blank filing for the blank petition back on April 7th of this year. Those particular blank petitions have been filed with the Mojave County Recorder. Currently, we are still getting data requests that comes in from the county as well as from the Arizona Department of Revenue. There is a 30-day waiting period that began at the time that we filed the blank petitions. That 30-day waiting period started April 9th. As part of that, we are required to hold a public hearing within the last 10 days of that 30-day waiting period, which is exactly what we're doing here this evening. From here, if continue to proceed forward, the staff will continue to start the outreach program and actually sending out petitions to the property owners within the annexation boundary. Once that takes place, should we receive the required number of signatures to move forward, this would come back before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a final recommendation on the annexation, as well as the proposed like zoning. Planning Commission can also hear concurrently at that time any general plan amendments and zone changes that are requested by property owners. However, those would not go into effect for 30 days following the annexation. And ultimately, this would come back before the City Council to accept the annexation ordinance. This is just a brief timeline that kind of just shows where we started with the first filing of the blank petition. We would anticipate that should we receive the required number of signatures, either the 2 annexations could go as early as later this summer, early fall, with the airport annexation probably following into the first part of 2027. So some questions that did arise through the outreach or through the noticing of the public hearing was in regards to the fiscal analysis. The fiscal analysis was presented in detail before this body back in March of 2025. Before you tonight are just the summary captures of those slides that talks about what type of impacts that we may have. For the Wallapai Foothills area, there would be a first-year impact to the city's general fund. However, overall, through the build-out period between years beginning at year 5 all the way through year 15, there are positive revenues that offset the operating cost. And the same thing for airport and the Devine area. Overall, that would be a positive impact to the city's general fund. Just real quick for the audience in regards to annexation benefits, quick facts. So currently under the Mojave County jurisdiction, everything goes through the county. Once it's annexed into the city, should that be proved successful, then of course they would be getting services from the city. Currently, they're served by Mojave County Sheriffs, that would be Kingman Police Department. Currently, County Fire District, that would transition over to the Kingman Fire Department. County zoning regulations would no longer be in place. They would be adhering to the city's zoning ordinance. Same thing with county codes. Instead of getting permits through Mojave County Development Services, they would be coming to the city of Kingman's Development Services. Property maintenance, county standards, they would be adhering to the city's standards that we enforce through our municipal code and zoning codes. Utilities, they do vary in the county. They're private county and varies between different providers. Within the city, they would have access to city services for water and sewer when and where it's available. And then development standards, again, county requirements, and they would transition to the city. So real quick, just in regards to the exhibit that's before you, this is what we recognize as being the airport annexation. It's 3,415 acres. Of that does include a future FAA land release area. Currently, there's about developed acreage in the area of about 769 acres. However, the area surrounding the airport as well as the airfield comprise of about 2,216 acres. And then, of course, the commercial corridor, which again is just the properties that front Andy Devine, make up approximately 430 acres. Under the county zoning currently for the airport area, it's the airport development. And for the properties along Andy Devine, it is C2 as well as C2H, which is highway commercial and general commercial. Upon annexation, those particular zoning designations, again, would have to be in very similar or like condition. So for the airport, it would be an I1 or an I2, which allows for light or heavy industrial. And then for the properties fronting along Andy Devine, it would be C3 commercial. For the Wallapai Mountain area, again, this is approximately 4,238 acres. 3,038 acres of that is BLM land, so Bureau of Land Management. Upon annexation, that land would be set aside as open space, so it still stays as a recreational area for the Bureau of Land Management. It is still maintained by them, as well as any oversight being a government-owned property. In the county, there are multiple zoning designations that span across the parcels that immediately abut or are within close proximity to the existing city boundary. Those range from R110 and R120, approximately 320 acres, which allow for 10,000 and 20,000 square foot lots. Then there's AR36, which allows for 36 acre lots, approximately 625 acres. And then there's AR20, AR10, AR5A. Again, all these are in coordination with the size of the parcels that would be allowed. Proposed zoning for the city upon annexation, majority of the property outside of the BLM land would actually come in as rural residential. The R110 and R120 that is already has a non-vested county zoning would come in under like zoning within the city. There is an R2 parcel that is already designated on the city's general plan for medium density residential, which would also take an R2 designation. And then there is a C3 designation for general commercial, approximately 127 acres, which the county just ratified their general plan to identify the 127 acre parcel as commercial property within the county. And then again, the BLM land for open space. We do have a representative from the Mojave County Tax Assessor's Office this evening here, Darren Rasmussen, in the event that the council has any questions. However, we have done some tax comparisons for the property should they actually annex into the city. Under the tax code, if they have a property that has a tax code of 400, there's likely little to no change in their actual tax assessments. I would encourage anybody that's within the annexation boundary, should they have concerns, they should certainly reach out to the county assessor's office and to take a look at that. The other one would be under tax code 470, and this is where you can actually see a potential significant difference. And this is where if you are currently being assessed under the Northern Arizona Fire Department for a fire district, upon annexation, that assessment would go away. What we heard through the process, we received quite a bit of correspondence via email, over the phone, as well as some letters, which have all been included in the packets before you, as well as a summary of the comments that we had received and the emails. And they range, and I'll just hit on some of the highlights, which is really what are the costs to the city, and how are we providing these services. This was all addressed in our financial services report that was provided back in May of 2025. It is also a requirement of the annexation process. We talked about zoning in regards to what happens there with respect to density. We've discussed that as well. Ultimately, upon annexation, development does pay for its own development as it comes forward. In addition to that, they are required to pay development impact fees, as well as capacity fees for connecting to the city's water and sewer services. And a couple other questions was, again, will our taxes increase or decrease? And then why wasn't my property included? As you'll recall, we did go back and forth on some boundaries, and some of the properties were excluded as we move forward through the process. So just real quick, for a statement of facts, really this is for not just the council, but also for the residents and the community that's here this evening. This is a very strategic process that is outlined by Arizona state statute. And with that, the public hearing that's associated tonight with annexation case AN 25-0001 and 25-0002 are intended to receive public input regarding the proposed annexations. That really is what is the purpose this evening. Although these annexations are being proposed by the city of Kingman, their success is ultimately determined by the consent of the affected property owners within the respective annexation areas and the ability of the proposals to meet all requirements set forth under state statute. So council cannot just arbitrarily make a decision to move forward and annex people's properties into the city without their consent. And it does require a simple majority, so 50.01%. Would allow for the annexation to prove successful. Under Arizona law, annexations, again, like I said, require consent by a simple majority of the property owners within the annexation boundary, must meet specific statutory requirements outlined in the Arizona revised statutes. Only if the criteria is met would the annexation come back before the city council for acceptance. And to be eligible for the annexation, the following criteria must be satisfied. Contiguity requirements. The territory for annexation must be contiguous to the existing municipal boundary. The area must directly adjoin current city limits. The annexation must not create unincorporated islands or be surrounded by the municipality. Strip annexations, narrow corridors to reach distant parcels are restricted, and the area to be annexed must comply with minimum width and configuration standards established by statute. These have been proven to have been met as being the first criteria, which has allowed us to bring this before you this evening. The second part is the petition requirements. The annexation requires the valid petition executed by the property owners with the proposed annexation boundary. Within the proposed annexation boundary, again, owners representing more than 50% of the assessed real or personal property value and more than 50% of the total number of property owners. They have to meet both of those criteria in order for it to move forward. Following tonight's meeting, given the direction from this body, the annexation petition letters will be sent to property owners based on the most current tax roll and information obtained from the Mojave County Recorder's Office. Property owners in favor of the annexation would be required to return a signed petition letter for staff to validate and ensure the petition requirements are met. If these statutory thresholds are not satisfied, the annexation cannot legally proceed. And as stated, these requirements have not yet been met. As stated, staff has received multiple inquiries over the public counter by telephone, email, as well as responses from outside agencies. The memorandums have been provided before you this evening that detail each of those responses. Since the annexation requires a majority of the property owner's consent as stated, staff does recommend that council accept public comment this evening and direct staff to continue with the annexation process pursuant to ARS 9-471. That does conclude my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Jason. So let's focus on item 5A first, annexation AN 25-001, council. Any
Mayor,
comments or questions for you, Vice Mayor?
I do have some questions for Jason. I was reviewing the memorandums that you put up. First of all, could you do me a favor and can you go back to the fiscal impact slide That was not in our backup, and I'm sad that I'm just now seeing that. So I want that to be up there for the public. I want to ask you a couple questions in relation to these memos that we got today, with questions and concerns from citizens. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of commentary here shortly. But can you tell me if the city has anything to do with the availability of medical care in our area?
No, we do not.
Okay. During this process, do we have any opportunity to study water, or is water put into consideration when we look at annexation?
Water, wastewater services are all considered, and that is part of the overall analysis that was presented to this body back in March of '25.
What about availability of water?
Availability, we just have to ensure that we still meet the requirements under the state for having available water, and that is done on an annual basis.
And we have met that?
And we have met that.
Okay. Water pressure, how is that going to affect annexation? How is that going to affect our water pressure?
So probably not immediately. As development occurs in the annexation areas and future capital improvement projects come about, there's an opportunity for additional zones, additional water tanks, which can potentially impact the water pressure services. So if you're adjacent to an annexation boundary today, there's development that starts to occur, there's a future tank that gets constructed that increases water pressures, then they become the beneficiary of those improvements.
So as development happens, we plan for the more water users to come online, and we plan for that, and we put infrastructure in as water users come online.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's all I had. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Might as well stay close, Jason, because we'll need to open a public hearing on this. So we want to open a public hearing on item 5A, annexation AN 25-001. We have a list of people who'd like to share their comments on this. Let's start with Miss Penny Hilden, please.
Penny Holden, Mayor, City Council. My concern with this annexation of all this property and the development of houses, apartments, and townhomes, where will the money come to pay for all this? You can see the physical cost it's going to cost us. It's only been in the last month or so that you guys have increased sales tax or voted for that for the roads. We're going to add on more roads. We also got to take in consideration police officers, fire stations, fire personnel, fire equipment, and more maintenance on roads. My question to you guys is, where the money going to come from? Are the citizens of this community, because you've been doing this planning for 2 years, from my understanding. So my question to you is, does the citizens of this community looking for an implementation of a city property tax to be put in place? Because it's supposed to go on the ballot, just like the increase of your sales tax was supposed to go on the ballot for the people to vote. But you guys worked around that and got that so it doesn't have to go on the ballot. You guys made that decision. So it's the same thing. Are we looking at you guys doing the same thing where a property tax gets implemented onto the citizens against their will, and we have to pay it? That's my question to you, because somebody's got to pay for this. And it's not going to be the builders and stuff. It's going to be the citizens of this community, not to mention the impact it's going to take on the roads and stuff. You have Wallapai Mountain Road, and you have Southern, and you will have that crossing to get out. But in a case of emergency, for all those people to get out of that area up there, have you considered that? Because everybody's not going to get out when there's a fire and stuff, and that's going to be on your backs. How many people are you willing to let die to do this for money? Because it's all boiling down to money and stuff. But I just want to know if you guys have considered, because I've done research, and I know that you guys can implement that it's a safety emergency, that we need more fire, we need more police, we need this, and you can implement a property tax on the community without it going on the ballot. I sat and researched that, so I know it's coming. I just want you guys to admit the truth, that that's what you're planning on doing, and be honest with us instead of going behind our back like you did with the sales tax. Be honest and tell us. That's your next step. Thank you.
Mayor, before Penny leaves, Can I ask a question? First of all, I would like to know the speakers, when you come up to speak, if you could so oblige me, I would like to know if they are city residents. Yes, so I would just like to know if you live in the city or you live in the county, not that it makes a difference, but I would just like that to go on the record.
I'm in the city.
Thank you.
Does any of us want to answer some of that? or-
Generally, we answer
Carl?
at the end of the public hearing,
Yeah.
so we get the questions
Yeah,
and
that's true. Let's
answer.
get all the questions. You're good. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Holden. Andrew Shea?
Supervisor, like council.
Actually, Andrew, can you raise that mic up a little bit, make sure we can hear you? And then also, as Vice Mayor has asked, if you're a city resident or in the
Okay.
county, please.
City resident, like a council, like Mayor, like my name's Andrew Shea. In the tradition with the centennial of Route 66, my grandfather from Cook County, Chicago would famously say, "You can't beat City Hall." Therefore, I am not here to air my grievances with the city of Kingman. My property on the mountain, where I hold clear title, is the most important parcel of land in the annexation area because all underground utilities intersect on my land. I am the only annexation landowner who has a direct utility hookup with El Paso Natural Gas. In my view, the rush annexation of the mountain is a bailout for the failed Mission Bank. His obsession with my ownership of this land and my family bloodline didn't start with this letter closing all four of my bank accounts for standing in solidarity with the accuser who lives in St. George, Utah. It started at his 4th of July barbecue that I was invited to for a sit-down at the table at the home of the head elder. The Sunday Sabbath before I received the termination letter from Mission Bank, I made a spiritual journey up to St. George, Utah. Starting in Mesquite at Peggy Souza Diner, where every seat was filled with believers, and through Littlefield, where I saw the misty white smoke, and the dozens of vehicles pulled over to the side of the road, and the groups of people climbing up the gorge, and the hundreds of the faithful who lined both sides of the parking lots along a bluff street in the church parking lots of St. George as I made my way to the Catholic Church. But in my hometown of Kingman, the idolatry repeats a story where I feel like Ronnie, like a Dangerfield, because I get no respect. The worst of all sins are the sins against the Holy Spirit. Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto a God. In closing, the president of the Hells Angel Motorcycle Club was quoted as saying that in Kingman, the developer is the mob that rules. But if I were to quote Black Sabbath, based on my experience of driving through the gorge, I would say fairies wear boots, and you gotta believe me, I saw it with my own two eyes. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Godspeed, Charlie Kirk, and God bless America.
Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Mark Berry.
Doc Berry, I'm a city resident and I own property up in the county. Mr. Mayor, council members, I'll be brief because you're going to get a lot of people talking on this. The 4,200, the North Wallapai. Two questions. Number one, some of us have right-of-ways with the BLM for the switchbacks going up to our property that crosses off our property line onto BLM land, which if this annexation goes through, it will then become city land. How will that affect those of us that have right-of-ways on that land? Okay, now, I would appreciate either at the end of this meeting, if you're going to collect questions and then answer, or now, somebody, any of you that has an answer to that question. And what I would not like to hear is, well, we don't know, we'll get back to you. Second thing is, Ms. Holden talked about all of these costs that are going to be coming about in the future, okay? And we look at history and we know that that's a given. It's going to happen. So the only decision left is which side of the line do we want to be on? What I don't hear in regard to all of these costs are, let's say between 2000, now and 2030, 32, whatever, 20,000 homes get built. At some point, that's going to happen. 20,000 homes at 3 people per home, that's 60,000 people. 1/3 of those are going to be children, school-age children. 1/3 of 60,000 is 20,000 children. Do we have high schools, elementary schools that can handle that influx? Who's going to pay for that? I understand that, we're going to have to pay for water and roads and all that. Who's going to build these schools? The developers get their money, sell the homes, they're down the road to the next subdivision. Who's stuck paying for all this infrastructure, which schools are part of? We are. Okay, so take that in consideration, and again, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Is it Daniel Jaques?
Good evening, Mayor. I'm Dan Jaques. I am a city resident of Kingman, Arizona, or Kingman. First off, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I've been to several of your meetings, I've been to your town halls, we've talked about this thing. Why aren't developers paying more for the right to develop? We've had everybody up here asking for explanations of funds. How are you going to pay for all this stuff? You're building homes, but you're doing nothing for quality of life. You're doing nothing for our schools, our health care, bringing in big business, and without quality of life, you're not going to bring them in. You're just going to turn us into Watts, California. We're going to have a lot of homes and a lot of people, clogged roads, and nothing else to do it. And folks, I know you're better than that. So the other thing is, where are we going to get these funds? Again, that's been asked, so I'm asking, not answered. What are developers doing to offer green space? Now, I'm going to turn to Tim and say, okay, you talked about GIS, and I've used GIS, I understand it, but on this map, I don't see where your zones are at. I don't know where you're building these 713 acres of residential. Show me. I'm a concerned citizen, and oh, by the way, I live on Gemstone, so I'm really concerned about what you're going to do to my neighborhood. Okay? What's being done to attract support for our infrastructure? How are we going to get these doctors? Vice Mayor Sherry, you brought it up. Where are we going to get these doctors and these schools and all this stuff? We're concerned. You got a whole hallway and a building full of people right now that are going to ask the same question. What are you doing to make us a better community? It's great to help get business or developers to build homes, but I'm sorry, if we can't support those homes and those families and the roadways and the fire and the schools and all that, we're just wasting our time and making Kingman a place that nobody wants to come to. They will go to Havasu. They'll build in Havasu, but they're not helping Kingman. We got to stop building homes until we build a community. And we need your help, each and every one of yours help. You talked about water. Said we got water. Where's that water coming from? The lake is empty. Where are we getting our water? How is our aquifer getting refilled? We're figuring out more ways to use water. We're not filling it. I got friends all around this county that are at 600-foot wells, 1,200-foot wells, and they're running out of water.
It's all right, go ahead.
Where are they going to get it? Yeah, I got it. But I'm going to take a second here and say.
No, go ahead and finish, please.
Huh?
Just ignore that. Finish.
Oh, okay. Props to the Kingman Youth Advisory Council. I had the privilege of getting to go to work on No Kids Without Beds. It was a fantastic experience, and I hope everybody in Kingman does it. It was great. Thanks to you for your town hall. That was also another wonderful experience. but we need to do that. And the feedback from that was fantastic, and you're spot on with all the stuff we talked about, so props. But we need to get that word out. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Frank Puglia.
Good evening, Council. My name is Frank Puglia, and I reside at 3425 South Ranch House Lane in Kingman, Arizona, with my wife, Marianne Salem. Expansion is a power and money grab. Whenever an extra layer is added onto the development of lands, we emulate the failed policies that destroyed California, making it more expensive and cumbersome for economic development. While at the same time, you have homes that were constructed right here in the city limits years ago that are still sitting on dirt roads. Concerning the proposed annexation, I myself and other citizens have reservations and are opposed to any expansion of the boundaries of the city. Any expansion. The city of Kingman has not demonstrated its ability to manage the current geographic area that it covers in an efficient manner with quality outcomes. Roads. I want to mention the unbelievable mismanagement of the Wallapai Mountain Road closure during the infrastructure construction of Angle Homes. The major artery was shut down completely for an extended period of time. This is mismanagement and irresponsible management. Unnecessary wasting of fuel and time adding on to the road in a patchwork manner on the cheap. All of the bumps and the dips that were already in the road, in the Warren Road, are still in the road, just covered up with pebbles. We do not have quality asphalt roads in our community, save Andy Devine and Stockton Hill Road. When relatives from out of town come out here to visit, they always comment on how haphazard and inconsistent the development, the roads, and the zoning in this community are. There are other communities that we could emulate that build quality roads. And they have a beautiful community. We all know about them. We go there sometimes. Like Prescott. Get us to Prescott standards and come back and ask us to annex. Maybe we'll feel differently. The spending of taxpayer revenue, this is a big one. The city does not have a central procurement department. They do not have a licensed procurement officer safeguarding the citizens' hard-earned tax dollars. This city is 75 years old, and the only thing it's done is joined the online procurement portal. They don't know how to buy, and I'll give you a couple of examples of how all of our money has been blown away for 20 years because we don't have a procurement officer here. I have been a local office machine vendor here in this town for 38 years, saving our county taxpayer hundreds of thousands of dollars by working with procurement officers in our community, bringing national contracts to our community, saving our community a fortune over the last 25 years. Millions of dollars. Just my own company alone has repatriated back into this community because the county decided to do business locally and found ways to do that. Procurement officers know how to bring these values to our community. Who was the procurement officer who did all of this? It was Travis Lingenfelter, who was a procurement officer for Mojave County in 2003. He brought national contracts here and caused millions of dollars over the last 25 years to remain in this community rather than getting sent out to Phoenix or Vegas. Without knowledgeable procurement personnel, you are not piggybacking onto the huge county purchases and expenditures that our tax dollars fund. This has demonstrated to us that you are not safeguarding our taxpayer revenue, and you are not understanding how to grow the community by reinvesting expenditures back into the community. What this annexation would do in real time is thin out the services to the existing taxpayer in this community. It's going to thin out the services, and it's going to cost money. This isn't going to happen for free. Water, I won't even get into it. But let's just talk about the fact that this is, in essence, a Ponzi scheme, okay? You're going to take revenue that we have and services that we have with the county, with the city now, and you're going to use that money to expand the boundaries of the city. Happens all the time. If you guys can figure out how to run an effective city and beautify this city, give us some roads, spend our money appropriately instead of letting each department head blow our money out the doors to different cities all over the state or different states. When you guys can figure out how to do that, maybe you should then come back to us and say, we want to get bigger. We want to take this beautification process beyond the current borders out and annex. In the meantime, leave our open spaces and the annexation alone for now until we have a good plan, until we have an in-house procurement officer that safeguards our money. Spend the money and let's get professional. 75 years. I was a vendor for the city of Bullhead the day they opened in 1984. With the procurement officer, they opened up that city. So we're behind the times, guys. You guys really need to get with it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Frank. Scott, and it's just Scott K. This is Rancho. Of course, if you could give us your full name and
Scott Klein Hesselink. Yes, I'm a resident of the city of Kingman. This new annexation is looking at putting approximately 28, or between this annexation and the building that they're doing on Flying Fortress now, you're looking at approximately 2,800 homes that you're going to add out in that area. Kingman, this area, does not have the needed infrastructure to support this kind of growth. Who's going to pay for it? All the people sitting in this room is going to pay for it. We already have an extremely high sales tax. Did the public vote on the last sales tax increase? No. We also have limited things in Kingman. Medical treatment. Doctors, it takes months to get appointments. And you want to bring in all these other residents? We have limited hospitals, fire and police coverage, good paying jobs, schools. I spoke to a school principal that said, we're full. Who's going to pay for all this? Once again, the people sitting out here. What about grocery stores, shopping? You're going to put some commercial property out there. What kind of commitments do you have from businesses other than, let's see, a Circle K and more Dollar General stores? We are overcrowded and underdeveloped as it is. We need controlled growth, smart growth, and that's not what I'm seeing in this city. In spite of all this and all the objections to this, you're probably going to annex the property and do what you want anyway. I've been to several of these meetings, and it seems like the city council rubber stamps just about anything that the builders want out here. In closing, I'd like to say that if you, your family, your business stands to gain anything from this annexing, development of this property, you either need to recluse yourself from voting on this or make it known publicly of any possible or actual perceived conflict that you may have. This includes, but is not limited to, building supply goods or services to the contractors and or subcontractors, also any involvement in real estate sales, title and escrow, trades like electric, plumbing, landscaping, etc. Anything that you may benefit from putting in all these other houses. Is there any response to that?
They can't respond right now, sir.
I didn't think so.
And
Thank you.
Mayor, I was just,
thank you. Yes.
I was just going to add, when the next speaker comes up, make sure that you speak in the microphone so everybody can hear and our IT department can pick it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Okay, that is all that we have. Is there anybody else that would like to say anything that sort of mentioned that anything new Now, this is once again on item 5A, annexation of AN 25-001, which is the Wallapai Foothills area. Is there any more comments on annexation for that? Sir, if you have this public hearing, if you'd like to come forward, please state your name and where you live. And please speak into the mic, as our attorney said.
Good day, my name is George Abrams. I live at 3875 East Andy Devine Avenue. I also have our business there. And I was just curious with the, I was just curious with the rezoning there on Andy Devine. Are you going to switch any to?
Could you hold off? That's the next one.
Oh.
What you're talking about, that's number 2.
Okay.
002. I'm sorry, but yeah, let's catch you for that one. So specifically for this annexation, which is 001, and it's the Wallapai Mountain Road area, east of Cherokee. Is there anybody else who would like to share comments or thoughts about that? Elliot, I know you had raised your hand.
I do, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
My name is, pardon me, my name is Elliot Chalou. I'm a resident here in Kingman. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. The way I see things on any annexation, the City Council was elected to represent the community. The City Council has been, in my opinion, going hog wild, spending the money of the community on projects that were not approved by the community. I can't help but wonder how long this will continue. I also can't help but wonder why the present sitting City Council is so intent on making a metropolis out of Kingman, a beautiful small town that is being destroyed by the proliferation of private homes, the proliferation of continued failure to improve our infrastructure. It is just, we love our home. We're very happy here. If we were to exclude my present concerns, they're very difficult to walk away from. I hope you'll take that into consideration.
Thank you, Elliot. Any other public comment about what we've been talking about? Okay, thank you. Carl, we're going to close the public hearing? Yes, sir. Okay. I'd like to close that public hearing on item 5A, annexation AN 25-001. Okay, where do we want to start? Oh, Jason, I know there was a lot of questions there. I guess we'll pick on you.
Mayor Watkins, Council.
And we'll chip in.
Taking notes, I will respond to some of the questions that specifically came up in regards to the first speaker, Ms. Holden. Development that would occur in this area would occur whether it's in the county or if it's in the city. So if it comes into the city, then it does come into the city. It adheres to our city standards. It doesn't have to adhere to the county's adopted standards in regards to its roadways, widths, and so forth. But also at the time of development, those developers.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's a lot of people moving around and a lot of talking. Can you restate that? Because I think it's really important. It sounds like people believe that this annexation will bring development, but all it is that we're going from county to city, and the owners of those lands have the same property owners' rights, no matter where it is. So can you please restate what you just said so everybody can hear it?
Yes, Councilwoman Staley, thank you. Mayor Watkins and Council. So to repeat, the area that's looking at being annexed, it does require those property owners to actually opt in for annexation. They actually have to be able to sign a petition that says that they want to be part of the city. It is their right. If we don't receive those petitions, if they don't want to be annexed, then the annexation fails. However, development will likely occur either way. It can occur in the county under the county standards and under the county zoning requirements and development standards, or it can be actually within the city's control and be developed per our standards, our roadway standards, our density requirements, and under our zoning. The requirement of the annexation is that we actually have to bring it in under a like zoning as close as possible. So in that particular case, we're not actually adding significant density by it coming into the city. We're trying to keep the exact same thing from county to city when it does come in, again, within being as closely as likely as that we have, which is the rural residential. So that was one of the things. Development fees, development costs, and so forth, as they develop within the city. If it were to be annexed, those developers do pay their fair share of fees. They pay, again, development impact fees, they pay capacity and connection fees. They also will pay their permit fees, and then as they develop their infrastructure that leads up to their development. So any roadway extensions, water, sewer improvements, things of that nature, they would be bringing those in with their particular developments.
So let's hold on. Well, so we want to state again, they pay for the infrastructure. All that happens inside their subdivision, they pay for infrastructure as they hook up to our system.
That is correct, Mayor
And once
Watkins.
again, I think the important fact is, that you said, Jason, already, this is going to happen whether it's in the county or the city, because that's their legal rights as landowners to build on it.
That is correct.
It's going to happen. So if we have it in the city, we have better control. And once again, just emphasizing code is so important. These landowners are the ones that are petitioning the city to be in the city limits. In other words, if they say, yes, they want to be in the city limits, we have to recognize their right.
That is correct, Mayor Watkins, Council.
Okay.
They control the destiny.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to emphasize on those things.
With respect, I don't have a response for the second speaker. The third speaker, Mr. Berry, again, the right-of-way, the switchbacks, I believe this is all on part of the BLM land, if I'm not mistaken. That will stay. We don't have any control over the BLM land. Again, it's government-owned an entity. It just, again, would reside within the city boundary upon annexation. With respect to schools and high schools, again, if this property were to remain in the county, it still gets developed in the county. They would still be utilizing City of Kingman schools. And again, schools are responsible for preparing and planning for their own needs as development occurs. With respect to, again, coming back to developers paying their fair share, they do. With respect to open space and zoning, again, the zoning has to come in like for like. So as it comes in from the county, the city's not making any recommended changes unless those property owners are going to come forward and want to make changes. And again, if that's the case, they don't become valid until 30 days after the annexation, and they are subject to a separate public hearing, which will come back before the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council. In regards to previous developments, failed policies, dirt roads, Kingman was very rural at a point in time. There are dirt roads that are within the city. There are developments and housing that do still take access from dirt roads. The city has adopted policies to try and close those gaps as development still continues to occur. However, we do have adopted roadways that would remain, again, in a dirt configuration. I know staffing with respect to police and fire, again, the overall analysis that was done and presented before this council, we did take a look at what type of staffing needs would be needed. And again, this is not just for in City Hall, but it did look at police and fire needs as well as future fire stations should these annexation occurs. And that is all part of the financial analysis that has been presented before this body, again, back in March of 2025. With respect to Vice Mayor Samily in regards to development for doctors, commercial entities and things of that nature, these are all private entities. The city does not have control over them. We can't bring them we can't force them to come to the city. I can tell you that as development occurs, that typically does happen. As you get more rooftops, you get different types of commercial developments. That's where the economic development side comes in. When you get different types of commercial developments, you end up starting to grow your residential base, which also does, again, lead to more of those medical opportunities. And again, I know one of the comments was the council is going to do what the council wants to do. Again, I can't say enough that this is a property owner-driven process. So the property owners have to elect to annex into the city. With that, I think I've captured the major highlights. Answer any additional questions that you may have.
I know there was one statement that aired sort of that we have raised sales tax already. We have not. I want to clarify, we have not raised sales tax. Thinking about it, but we have not raised statute said that they do not control that. As far as property tax, and Carl, correct me if I'm wrong, property tax can only, is following state statutes, can only be done by voters.
Correct. There's no way for the city to do it without a vote of the
That's
electorate.
correct. Sales tax
Mayor
is not
Watkins.
stated that.
Your mic.
Yes.
Can you turn your mic on, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank
Thank you, Annie. But sales tax is not on statute. There's no, nothing controlling that.
That is within the council's purview.
Correct. Okay, so just some clarifications there that I wanted to state. Any other comments or questions for Jason to add to it? Well, one other thing that pointed out, and actually Councilor Ward spoke very eloquently the other day at a meeting. He pointed out the fact that if you go back over our history over the last, what, was that 5 or 6 years, Smiley? Of how many homes were built a year?
Yeah, it was over the last 5 years,
I think the average was 150 homes. Permits have been,
less than 300.
Councilmember Ward,
Oh.
can you please use your
your
microphone?
mic, yeah. So, yeah,
It
there-
was less than 300.
There was-
I have a list, actually, of what they were.
right, and there was one year that was a peak year, but after that, it's dropped off.
Yeah.
So, let's say under 200 average of homes being built a year. So, there was a statement said that there would be 20,000 homes built. Even at that, it's gonna take over 100 years to reach that. So that's not gonna happen. Another thing that is important to notice, another comment was that, as you stated, Jason, we can't attract businesses here. We try to invite them. We try to get Kingman on their map so that they look at us, but we can't beat them over the head and say, hey, you need to build this here. We can't do that. There are other many companies that want to build or want to have a business here, open up a factory manufacturing plant, but you know what their concern is employees. Where are those employees gonna live? We have to have homes. So there is planned development. And I think most importantly, as you said, Jason, just to emphasize it one more time, this property is owned by private individuals. They're either gonna build it in the county or they're gonna build in the city.
That's correct.
So, Staff, Vice Mayor?
I do have a couple things. So the gentleman that, I believe it was Mr. Shea, that was talking about how this could affect his utility hookups, is that an altruistic statement?
So if he is an existing resident here within the city and he's not within the county, not within the annexation area, if he's on septic, he would remain on septic. Only at a point in time that should there be infrastructure immediately adjacent or within so many feet of their properties, would they be required to hook up to it? And again, that would require their septic system failing and so forth.
I believe he talked about El Paso Gas.
Yeah, and again, I'm not familiar with El Paso Gas and on
Okay.
any
Is he
private
a-
utilities.
Is he a petitioner?
I don't know if he's within the city boundary or not.
Okay.
City boundary
It
or
didn't sound like it, okay. And then, can you talk a little bit more about development fees? Can you talk about, I know that they pay their fair share, but what does their fair share mean?
So when they pay, the developers, when they actually go to construct, they pay permit fees. They pay review fees. They pay inspection fees. That's just for their development, just to start with. In addition to that, they pay capacity fees for water and sewer connections. They pay review fees through our engineering department for all of those types of services as well. Depending on actual meter sizes, that can increase those fees. With respect to police, fire, parks, those are all development impact fees that we have in place. So they actually pay a per dwelling unit fee for those particular types of developments. Those
So I
fees-
just want to stop you right there. We're collecting from the developer at the time they're pulling a permit for police, fire, streets, parks. All right. I just want that on the record.
Yes.
Thank you. Did you have anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay, all right. So the other thing, I want you to go back to the fiscal impact slide. And I want you to dive into this slide. I want you to talk about this slide. And if Tina is here, she can do it. If you want to hand the baton off to Ms. Moline. I think this is an important part of the presentation for the public to understand the fiscal impact over the years. As a council, we try to be as forward-thinking as we possibly can to keep our city ahead, so we are becoming that city that everybody wants to be. Everybody talks about all the amenities that people want, and this is part of the plan. And so, Ms. Moline, could you dive into this slide, please, and educate myself and the public?
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor, Mayor, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening and hopefully provide some information about the fiscal impact. I want to first say that when city staff is tasked with an analysis, something as comprehensive as annexation, we certainly do not take it lightly. It took us many, many months to look at our operations and determine what we would need over a 1-year period, a 5-year period, a 10-year period, and a 15-year period as far as our services are concerned for this area as well as the area that will be discussed later. So when we did this, we looked at police, fire, every single division in the city. And what we were able to determine is that as far as costs are incurred, the first year for this particular area was going to be very, very minimal impact and no impact to police and fire, who we know are our most expensive departments, and no impact to our streets, which is our second most expensive service. We also look at revenues. What are the type of revenues that we're going to collect from developers for development fees, as well as sales tax to help pay for all of the services that we would be providing. So we looked at the first year. Then we said, okay, over the course of 5 years, as the area develops, as streets are built, as homes are being built, what then are the services that are going to be needed, and how much sales tax and state shared revenues are we going to collect? So when you look at the 5-year total column there, that is from year 1 all the way through year 5. So 5 years of revenues and expenses. If there is a positive number up there, it means that we are generating more revenue than expenses. If there's a negative number, it means that we are generating more expenses than revenue. So when you look through each of these years, so starting at year 10, that's years 1 through 10, and then through 15 years, year 1 through 15. So let's go to the 15-year total, and you will see that we will have generated over $23 million, whether that be sales tax, state shared revenues, development fees, whatever that might be. I'm sorry, not development fees, in the general fund, over $23 million. There will be a negative impact to our streets fund. However, there will be general fund monies that could offset that, and that would be the council's decision to utilize the monies for our streets, but certainly sufficient monies to cover the negative impact to our streets. There will also be a fiscal impact to our water fund. Those that are inside the city pay lower rates than those outside the city. So it would be a negative impact, and that would be something that we need to consider and did consider through this analysis. And then our solid waste fund, we would be providing services to those residential customers in that area. So overall, for all of the services that we provide, our revenues more than compensate for the expenditures in this area. I hope that
And that net revenue is what?
So the net revenue is $13 million, but what we really want to look at is streets are very costly, and so if we utilize the excess in sales tax and state shared revenues from the general fund, we would be able to cover the negative impact on streets.
Okay, great. My last question, did you have a question?
Yeah, can I have
Okay,
just real quick.
Yes.
So I think this chart maybe is not clear for everyone. So I just want to ask you, the numbers in the parentheses, those are what you mean by negative numbers. That's a cost to the city.
Correct.
And so just looking at the 15-year, you're predicting, and I know you always lean conservative, so I know that these numbers could be even bigger, but you're conservative in your estimates. So you're stating that by including these this property in the city, you're anticipating $23,679 to go to increase the general fund. So by annexing this land, you're proposing that the city will actually have more money in the general fund to help cover the expenses that we incur through that expansion.
So that 20, thank you for that question, Councilwoman Staley. So yes, you are correct. That positive number there is the net positive effect after taking into account all of the general fund expenses. So yes, I want to make that clear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course. So my last question, do we have a fiscal policy for purchases? I want you to just address if we do have that.
Vice Mayor, thank you very much. Yes, as a matter of fact, and I did appreciate Mr. Lingenfelter on our council at the time. He actually pushed for us to have a very comprehensive procurement code that City Attorney Cooper put together. And we do actually follow very closely, not exactly, but very closely to Mojave County's procurement code. And I believe that was the one that he was referencing. He is absolutely correct. We do not have a centralized procurement department, but certainly we hold our teams and our teams hold themselves to the standards of our procurement code.
And when was that procurement code or that fiscal policy put into place? What year?
Originally 2020.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
And Tina, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the discussion at that time too was, once again, adding a procurement department. Now we're adding more personnel and more cost to take care of them. Whereas I think we looked at it at the time, we're almost to the point, city growth-wise, where we might need to look at that again. But at that time in 2020, we were not, and it didn't pencil out to have an extra, 2 more people at least payroll-wise. So.
That's correct, Mayor. Thank
yeah.
you.
So, thank you. Any other comments or questions for Tina? Yes, Miley.
Not for Tina, but I have one for Jason. Jason, when a developer goes in and builds in an area like the one that they're doing there on Eastern, who pays for the walls, the water and sewer inside the subdivision, the sidewalks, and the streets?
That is all paid for by the developer. It is all part of their improvement plans. They get reviewed by staff and ultimately constructed by them and accepted by the city, at least the public sidewalk portion of it anyways, at the end of their development.
Thank you.
Okay, Jason, thank you. Might as well stay close. Any other comments or questions? Carl, Mr. Hawkes did raise his hand. He had a question about one thing, and I don't know if it got clarified, Daniel, or not. Can I?
If the council decides to reopen the public hearing, you're more than welcome. It's up to you and the council.
Because I'm sure there's raised some more questions, and this is a very important matter. Council, is it all right with you, for all of you, that we open it back up? So hang tight, please. We'll open it back up, this public hearing, real quick. Mr. Hawkes, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. My question is, I brought up the thing about developer impact fees, and it was kind of like, I don't know what you really thought of that. But my question is, and Mayor, you said this a couple months ago, that we don't charge the developers what we could charge them, because after all, we want them to stay here and we want them to build houses. Did you not say that? You don't have
No,
to
we
answer.
did. Our fees right now are at a reduced rate from what the council, we looked at rates, and what was that, 4 years ago? I think, City Manager Walsh?
Almost 5, yep.
Almost 5 years ago, and at the time, of course, that was still coming out of COVID. And so the developers were asking if they could have reduced rates on the development fees at the time.
Okay.
Now, we are looking at raising those back up to a more normal level because we are long past that. But everything, as you well know, because of COVID, everything was a mess.
Well,
So,
I'm 100% with you. COVID bit us all.
so.
But now we got the Gulf War biting us all. Is that going to be the new excuse? I hope not.
And once again, we actually have talked about that, looking at those fees, because they need to be raised back up to a rate where they should be comfortable enough. But of course, once again, the developers are going to complain, well, now it's going to raise the cost of our homes. So,
And?
I know, but this is what the argument they use is, okay, now the same customer will go buy that house out in the county, because they are also building out in the county. So, but there are many people, as you have noted, and I think we've talked about this before, many people want to live in the city and not in the county, and they want that designation. So that's important. So, once again, these are things that we are looking at.
It's very important to be able to live inside of a consolidated area, and it's great to annex. The question is, when we annex and build, did we build appropriately? You talked about the fact that we can invite builders or businesses to come here, but we can't make them come here. But you can. You gotta build quality. I don't know how many times I have to stand up here or go to town halls or wherever and say it. You give people a reason to live here, and it's not for the dollar. It's not to put money in their pocket. It's what do you do after work with your money? We're missing that point here. We're building and we're saying, gosh, we got homes. Bring your people. Well, who wants to live in Kingman, Arizona when you have nothing to do in Kingman, Arizona? That's it.
Absolutely.
It's really simple. So we got to fix quality so we can get businesses so they can bring employees in and we can have more money.
And we recognize we need more retail. I mean, there is one of the major grocery stores that is looking at putting something over on the East Bench. So, but once again, we can't force them to do that. Now, we can give them tax incentives, fee incentives. I'm not supposed to be answering, am I?
Well, we really try to avoid it because then
I
we're
know.
going to stay here all day with this debate
Yeah,
back and
you're
forth.
right.
We
Right.
probably should just have the questions and we
actually-
try and
No,
finish
and
the
that,
questions.
my point was, I get that the business side of that thing.
Right.
The employees and all that support that business are only gonna come if they have something to do in Kingman after work. Because I know when I was working in both my jobs that I retired from, I didn't go to work so I could say, I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. I went to work so I could say, how many toys can I buy tonight? And if they don't have things to do that excite them, I'm sorry, Lake House is really pretty. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Mr. Berry.
Yeah, just real quick, for clarification. I don't know if it's just me or if there's some intentional misrepresentation going on here, but can you put this map up? Can we get this map back up? Thank you. So on this map, I've heard a number of people talk about, and I don't mean people here, I mean people up here talk about how the property owners have to vote for this. And this is county property. Well, my property is that southern side right there, that little flat section. My property backs right up next to that. And then, yeah, and so all of that is BLM land. Because I've been dealing with BLM to get my right-of-ways and stuff. So to say that there are property owners there for that whole section that have to, that's not accurate. So maybe it's me, maybe I'm missing something here, okay? But I would like a little clarification on that. Is all this outlined area county property? Or is it BLM property? And like the other gentleman said, he doesn't see on here which acres are doing what. It's just an outline of an area, and we don't have any information about that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just,
Not intentional.
okay, but yeah,
Good,
so.
okay, so.
Mayor, why don't we wait for him to ask his question, then
The question is-
then we can answer.
Then I'll close public hearing and I'll let Jason answer.
Correct.
Okay, so the question is very simple. That outlined area, okay, how much of that is BLM land? Because I know it's checkerboarded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Okay, any other comments? Because I'm going to close public hearing if not.
I just have one. What is HURF?
Okay, the gentleman's asking HERF, yeah, HERF. We'll answer that here in a minute, so. But thanks for bringing that forward, because that is something really important to know. So, okay.
I have a question for you.
Just a reminder,
actually-
if you would like to address the
Yeah, you need
council,
to
we
come
do
forward
need
with
you
the
to
mic.
come up to the podium, please, so that we can capture those questions. Thank you.
The $23 million that Tina was saying that we are over will be in the black and all that stuff. Is that after we have fire stations and schools to accommodate these people and all that? Or is it just $23 million that will be in the general fund that we get to bring in? But where's the offset to the police, the fire, the schools and all that? Is that $23 million after we provide all that? or is that before? Because $23 million is not going to provide all that stuff too in 15 years. So we're going to be in the red.
Thank you, Penny. Okay,
Can we have, oh, you're going to close it?
yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
close it. We've had enough. I think Jason will answer all of that.
Mayor, you opened it and there's another person
Okay,
that's looking.
sir, one more thing. Please state your name and where you live, if you would.
Jerry Adams, I live in the county, and no offense toward you, Mr. Mayor or the council, I don't want to live in the city.
Understand.
Okay. I prepared a statement tonight, but when I got here, I found out that they can't really tell me whether I'm going to be annexed or not. Yesterday, I went to the development department downstairs. They told me, "Oh yeah, you're in the annexation area." Then all of a sudden tonight, I find out, no, I probably aren't. I'm probably not in the annexation area. I'd like to know from this gentleman here whether I'm in the annexation area or not in the annexation area. I talked with Chief Yeager, and I believe he talked with you, but I still really don't know on it then. So I need to find out, because if I am in the annexation area, I would definitely like to make some comments. But since I'm not, since I don't know, I really don't know which way to go
Okay.
on it then.
Thank you, sir.
All righty,
I
thank
think,
you.
I think Jason will answer that here shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad I don't play golf at those prices.
Okay, I'm going to close this public hearing. So the public hearing is closed. Jason.
Okay. Mayor, Council, so I'll start with HERF. HERF is the Highway User Revenue Fund. So, and those are funds.
Yeah, the gentleman's talking, so he's not listening. So, sir, you were asking about what HERF stands for? He's answering your question.
Yeah. So HERF is the Highway User Revenue Funds, and those are funds that we get from the state that go towards maintenance of our roadways.
Okay, thank you.
With respect to the gentleman, I believe you live off of Able, is that correct? That is outside the annexation boundary. We are only annexing properties that are fronting Andy Devine. They're the commercial properties. We're not taking in any of the residential properties that are along or that sit the next block over from Andy Devine.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
No, I know, sir. Remember, that'll be for the next, yeah, we're just talking about this Wallapai Mountain annexation right now. So thank you.
And did I miss anything else?
Jason, I have a question. Does the city of Kingman build schools?
The city of Kingman does not build schools.
Does the city of Kingman have any control over when the schools are built?
The city of Kingman does not have any control over the schools.
Who has control over the schools and the schools that are needed for our community?
It would be the schools, the school board.
Thank you. Please let that reflect on the record.
Mayor, if I may add to that, I know that has been one of the questions as far as schools. The schools receive they do have you have the KUSD, the Kingman Unified School District. They do levy a tax based on property. So as this property develops and as it grows, they'll receive more funds for that district, and they'll have those funds in order to build more schools. So, yeah, the city has no part in building schools or any of that, but annexing this in theoretically would increase the value, would allow them to be able to collect more revenues to build additional schools. Jason, I believe there was also a question regarding BLM land and that.
Oh, yes.
So the largest portions in regards to the exhibit that's above there is BLM land. So if you take the kind of the partial of the triangle property that's coming down and draw a line straight down, that for the most part encompasses what's privately owned, with the exception, again, everything east of that is BLM. It should be noted, BLM, nor the city, nor does ADOT or state lands have any ability to participate in the annexation vote because we are not taxpayers on our properties in those particular situations. So this will come down to the private ownership of the parcels in this area as to whether or not they want to proceed.
Correct. And right now, once again, too, that is all in the county, that green area right now. It does not change
Correct.
ownership on it. It's still gonna be BLM land. Just because we annex it does not change ownership.
That is correct.
Okay.
So one more question on the BLM land. Why would it be beneficial for us to take on the BLM land?
If we take in the BLM land now with the annexation, it does allow it to be within our city's jurisdiction. Should there be a potential to work with the BLM to program it, something for regional opportunities in the future, recreational open space, again, as it comes in, it would be designated as open space, both in our general plan as well as zoning opportunities. So it wouldn't be developed for anything other than that potential. But again, it would be a working cooperative that we would be working with BLM should we get to that point. And I say that a decade down the road, perhaps.
Right, so it will stay open space.
Yes.
No planned development for developers to build houses. There's not any opportunity. Thank you.
That is correct.
Any other questions for Jason? Okay, I think we've tried to answer all the questions on what is going on with this annexation. And once again, this is just a starting of it. There's going to be another public hearing, I think, on it.
Mayor, Council, tonight I would just need an action that states that yes, staff can continue to proceed with the petitions for the annexation. That's the only action on this particular item tonight. It will come back for additional public hearings when it goes back before the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council, which is where all of the rest of the zoning stuff does get discussed.
Right. And of course, that process means you're going to be contacting those landowners and all that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. So after all that, I think we've had some good, I appreciate the input of the community here. And I hope we have clarified a lot of things.
Mayor.
And why,
Mayor.
what is happening here, and I know I understand it. Council, I think we're good, yes.
Mayor, if I may, just, and not to belabor this even more, but I think it's important to point out, that, as was mentioned, the council has been working on this for quite some time, has been considering this for quite some time. Staff has been working on this for quite some time. And as Ms. Moline had mentioned, the analysis, when we initially looked at this, I believe we had 5 different locations that we were considering for annexation. And we analyzed each of those locations, presented that to council. And council, when we presented these two, these were the 2 that were a net positive to the city. The others were not a net positive to the city, so council removed those. So there was a lot of comments as far as, who's going to pay for this? What's this cost to the city? These were the 2 that were a net positive to the city, which is why the council asked staff to move forward in this direction. So just wanted to kind of reiterate that. Thank you.
City Manager, thanks for reminding us of that too. Okay. Yes.
Just a comment or as a reminder, if council were to vote in favor of this action, we're not voting in favor of annexation. We're voting in favor of moving forward to allow the owners to make their own decision on whether they do wish to be annexed or not. Is that correct?
Jason, go ahead.
Mayor Watkins, Councilman Dykens, that is correct.
Okay. Jim? No, you're good. This is what we're here for.
I hear all of the comments. I feel for all the comments, and I agree with a lot of the things that have been said. But I feel that it is up to the owners of the property to make a determination if they want to stay in the county or if they want to just be part of the city. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't change the fact that I live in Rancho Santa Fe and all kinds of things are going to happen. Just gives them the opportunity to stay in the county or come under the city umbrella.
Mayor Councilman Dykens, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate those comments. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I think we're done. Can we have a motion then approving item 5A and annexation of AN 25-001?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 5B, very similar. 5, Annexation AN 25-002, annexation of approximately 3,415 acres to the city of Kingman, adjacent and surrounding the Kingman Airport. Annexation AN 25-002, annexation of approximately 3,413 acres to the city of Kingman, adjacent and surrounding the Kingman Airport. This area includes approximately 790 acres within this Kingman Industrial Park Master Development Plan, which is IPMDP, identified for future non-aeronautical land use. Approximately 413 acres along both sides of Route 66 from Castle Rock to Mojave Airport Drive, and approximately 360 acres within the airport perimeter. Staff recommends approval.
Mayor Watkins, Council, thank you. In the interest of time, I will forego the entire presentation and really just focus on this particular area. Again, it's 3,415 acres. The boundary, to be very specific, is for the commercial properties that front along Andy Devine, as well as shown on the exhibit before you, the area in the industrial park and around the airfield itself. Again, the county zoning is airport development and C2 and C2H. It would come in as I1 and I2 for within the airport area, and then C3 commercial service business for any of the properties that are fronting along Andy Devine. And with that, I will yield to you if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Any questions or comments for Jason right now? Okay, let's open a public hearing on this. We're opening a public hearing on 5B, annexation AN 25-002. We first have Jerry, one of our citizens, Jerry Adams. Jerry, was your question?
No, I've already been up there.
Okay, and your question was answered, so you understand completely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ron McJunkin.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm Ron McJunkin. I live in the county, although my property is in the annexation proposal. So I have a small business there. It's on the north side of Highway 66, as they've included that roughly, 2.5 mile strip here, 250 foot deep back from the highway. And as near as my calculations are, that little strip on the north side would be about 150 acres. I can't imagine what we'd get benefit-wise by being in the city. You'd be taking on Highway 66. There's a lot of accidents on Thompson and 66. I personally know of about 12 fatalities on that intersection, plus numerous serious accidents. Got it right here. If it's annexed, we're going to receive services from the city, which is a lot farther out than our half-mile away Wallapai Fire Department. I think it's pretty critical to be able to get people out there right away to help the people that were in the accidents. That's a bad intersection. There's a lot of traffic coming from Butler, New Kingman Edition. I think there's 6,000 to 9,000 homes that come out on the highway there on about 5 small 20-foot wide streets. Granted, we need street improvement. If the city could do that, I'd be all for the annexation, but I don't know if the city has the funds to improve the roads and improve the safety of the highway. I think without knowing further about what's going on, I would vote no. But I do have a question. If there is a property owner that has not turned in a vote, is that considered yes, no? That would be my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Any other comments from the public as far as this public hearing? Yes, sir. Yes, you did. Thank you. Please state your name and, of course, your address. Again, you started to.
George Abrams, 3875 East Andy Devine Avenue, right there on the corner. I just want to make sure that you're not going to rezone, because there is residential houses there. My in-laws live there, and I have my business downstairs, and it's been the family almost 50 years. Fourth generation just got in the trust last year, in fact. So there's no way you're going to throw them out of their house, right? You're not
We'll answer that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's my only question. Thank you, sir.
No, you bring up a very valid question, so thank you. Anybody else who would like to speak? or ask a question about that, about this annexation that we're talking about right now, AN 25-002. Okay, seeing none, we'll close that. Jason, please come back forward.
Mayor Watkins, Council, thank you. With respect to the comments, I think most importantly, in looking at the Route 66, Andy Devine, that will remain ADOT right-of-way. ADOT has control over that right-of-way. Arizona State Troopers would be the ones that would be responding to any incident that would occur there. City Fire would respond to it, however, once it comes into the city, should the annexation prove fruitful. With respect to the property owner not turning in a vote, doesn't count. So they actually do have to sign the petition and return it to us in order for us to validate not just only the fact that they own the property, but there's other elements that go into that in regards to property value and so forth, and majority ownership of the land. And then with respect to Mr. Abrams, if you are a legal existing use that is in the county, you will come into the city as a legal existing use. Again, the zoning that's already in place along that stretch of the roadway is C2 or C2H. It'll come in as a C3 zoning, which is one of our most flexible commercial zonings that we have.
Okay. I think that, council, any other? Oh, Carl, should I? Yeah, it's tough because he has about.
I can't determine whether you have a legal conforming use in the county. If it is a legally established use and conforming in the county, then it's fairly likely that that's the case. Again, you would certainly come in the same way. We wouldn't be changing anything.
Just to point out, that might be a good question for him to contact the Development Services Department, and maybe they can verify a few things to give him a better answer.
Okay.
And again, then he will have that option to vote.
Right, and once again, this is just authorizing the city to go out and talk to these people, and because they are property owners, we want to get their input on it. That's all this is tonight, correct, Jason?
That is correct.
Okay, so I just want to make sure because, yeah, we're not done with this. This is.
We are not done.
This is just a start. So, okay. Sir, I know.
Can I say just one thing?
Well, Carl, what do you want me to do?
Oh, okay, I'm good.
If you can, actually come to Jason and ask him later down the road if you would.
I'll meet with you afterwards.
Yeah, and that'd be great. Thank you, Jason.
Most of that property along there is all commercial. So what that affects us mostly in is instead of paying county taxes, now we're gonna have to pay city stuff.
Well,
Mayor.
yes, yes.
If you were going to open the hearing, then you need to open the hearing, then he has to come to the podium, or if you're not, then he can speak with.
You're right. So,
staff.
Anyway, please ask him afterwards. But to continue on with this, yes, this benefits the city because it is commercial property, that you already stated that, which means those businesses can charge city sales tax. And we will benefit from that sales tax.
Mayor, Council, that is correct. Upon annexation, they would be subject to any of this local city taxes that are adopted.
Correct. And of course, once again, our city services are better than, I'm just gonna brag because they are. So anyway, as far as fire and police.
100%.
Yes, okay, thank you. Any other questions for Jason or comments? And once again, this is just authorizing the city to talk to these landowners about annexation. So, if we are done with discussion, we need a motion then approving item 5B.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, over.
Oh, I'm sorry, did
Over
you have
here.
something?
Yeah, just a comment as far as what benefits those individuals or the businesses on there. As was presented, if you look at your tax bill, they pay fire district tax of however many thousands of dollars every year. If it is annexed, if it is voted in favor, that will no longer be a requirement for the property owner. You will no longer have to pay that amount of money to the fire district.
Mayor and Councilman Dykens, that is correct. Depending on the timing of when the annexation, should it be successful, actually takes place, they may have one additional year, but again, that just comes down to state statute, when it takes place and when the tax rolls come out.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Dykens. Any other questions? Okay, moving on. We have a motion then approving item 5D, annexation AN 25-002.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Item 5C, ordinance number 1995.
Mayor Watkins, can you please turn your mic on?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5C, ordinance number 1995-RZ26-001. Consideration to rezone approximately 1.07 acres from R15A to R16, located east of Benton Street and north of Keno Avenue, assessor's parcel number 320-04069A. If approved, RZ26-001 will change the zone from R15A, a residential zoning that is intended as a holding zone for planned developments allowing attached dwellings on a minimum lot size of 2,000 square feet, to R16, a residential zone requiring a minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet, which more closely aligns with the development in the vicinity. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you.
Jason.
Mayor, Council, thank you. So before you tonight is the rezone RZ 26-001. This is affecting approximately 1.07 acres, which is located on the east side of Benton Street and north of Keno, north of Golden. Get that right. The property currently is zoned R15A. It does allow for a residential, single-family attached type dwelling on a minimum lot size no greater than, having a minimum lot size of 2,000 square feet. The proposal before you tonight would amend that zoning to R16, single-family residential, requiring a minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet. Before you is the existing zoning that's in the surrounding area. So to the north, to the west, and to the east, you have properties that are zoned RR. Immediately adjacent to the property, you have properties that are still zoned R15A. A little bit of background, the R15A designation, this particular project area, as it encompasses all three parcels that are shown here, was originally approved back in 2007, and it was to be for a small lot, small home type development. So these were all 2,000 square foot lots that were being proposed. That particular development never came forward, and because of that, and with the approved planned development zone that was in place on it, those approvals expired. When the new zoning ordinance went into effect in 2021, the PDZs that were in effect took on a designation of R15A, and that was to really just serve as a holding zone. However, you could not develop under those zones because it was only for the existing PDZs that the city had at that time. So that brings us back to today, and that's the whole purpose of today's rezone, is because we do have a proposal on the project site in which they're looking to do a parcel plat. It's a 3-lot subdivision, roughly about 10,000 square foot lots that they're proposing. In order to accommodate that and facilitate that development, they would need to rezone the property. Properties immediately to the south are zoned R16. Again, the zoning under its current configuration would allow lots up to 2,000 square feet, or around 2,000 square feet, and they are proposing lots that will be in excess of that under the R16 designation. Something that should also be considered is this particular property was designated medium density residential. So that is one of the items that precludes it going back to an RR designation. So without doing a general plan amendment. So they're only changing the zone to be consistent with the underlying general plan with the R16. Overall, the subject property is currently designated as medium-density residential. As discussed, the requested rezone aligns with that particular land use designation, as well as those that are within the immediate vicinity. The proposed amendment is not detrimental to the public interest, health, safety, convenience, or welfare of the city, and will add to the public good, as described in the city's general plan. Overall, the R1-76 does allow for single-family development, which is consistent with that in the surrounding area. And based on the proposal that the applicant has made, the site would be of suitable enough condition, sizable enough to accommodate the parcel plat that's being proposed. With that, staff is recommending approval. This particular project was noticed both in the paper as well as on site, as well as in the Kingman Minor. We did receive one inquiry over the phone, as well as one email that did express opposition. That is before you this evening as well. And again, based on the findings contained in the staff report, the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation, vote of 6-0, staff is recommending approval this evening. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions? Yes, Counselor.
The only question I have is that going to remain a dirt road?
So as they do their parcel plat and they come in for development, under the engineering standards, they would be required to approve their portion across their frontage.
Is it the same way across Keno on that area where they're?
I would have to go back and look at the actual road classifications. Again, we have a set of streets that are designated that would be and maintained as rural roads that are dirt in nature.
Okay, that was my only question.
And answer that one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Counselor Ward. That was what I was going to ask too, about dirt roads or not. Any other questions? Vice Mayor?
Yes, Mayor. Jason, so they're only going to pave in front, their frontage?
That is correct. As it's being a parcel plat, the nexus is very limited, so they'd be paving just the portion in front of their property.
And we did do away with the half plus, right? They got to go all the way across?
No, it's the half plus 8. I'm not quite sure if it goes all the way across. They can't control the property that's outside their boundary.
So we're going to have another half plus 8 road.
We will have another scout.
I can't support that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Yes, Counselor Dykens.
Am I understanding this rezoning to be what currently exists? It's really small and tight, and it's changing to be less dense. Is that correct? It's basically what everybody seems to be talking about, don't make it so small and tight. This is actually going the other way.
Mayor, Councilman Dykens, that is correct. Without the rezone, they would actually have to come back and replat it and bring back their PDZ with the 2,000 square foot lots.
I have to agree with the fact of, I can't stand these partial pavement kind of things. If I was to build a home right in the middle of that, I'm gonna put in blacktop, but it's gonna be dirt, my blacktop, and then dirt again, correct?
That is correct.
They might, even if we rezone it, they might look at the cost and decide not to move forward, especially once they realize, so all we're doing is changing the zoning on it. That, once again, this whole section over there, those were all dirt roads. They were rural, they're rural 1 acre properties, and they were annexed into the city. And then we have dirt roads. This brings up an important fact that the public needs to know. If those different property owners want a paved road, all they have to do is get together and form an improvement district. And I think, Tim, there's more, Tim could give us more about that. My father did that when I was growing up in the city of Phoenix. We lived on a dirt road, and the citizens got together, they paid for it, the city helped finance it, but it became an improvement district. So once again, these dirt roads that we see around the city, those could be improved if the citizens that live on those roads want it. This is another factor here. Do I like the fact of half roads? I don't. But all we're doing is changing the zoning on it. They might decide not to.
But I am in favor of seeing it less dense. Is that the right term?
Mayor, if I may interject
Yes,
for just a
Jeff.
moment. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. So I just wanted to point out, this section of Benton is actually on the approved list for dirt roads. Going back when ordinance 1813 was adopted, any dirt streets that were developed were brought in as approved development. And so this actually would not require improvements to that section across the frontage. That's based on the current ordinance and the updated version that was approved by council not long ago.
So it's going to stay a dirt road?
Yes.
Okay.
Jack, thanks for that
And
clarification.
my other question is, this is the only opportunity to affect this property with the new ruling, correct? The new state statute? After they plat it, it's gonna be all administratively accepted the rest of the way through?
Correct. The rezone is the only item that comes before the Planning and
Yep.
Zoning Commission or the council. So the actual parcel plat, or if they were doing a greater subdivision, that's administratively approved.
Right, right. Zoning is the only opportunity we have to affect this parcel. I'm happy to know that it's gonna be all dirt road, though. Thank you, Jack.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Should we wait for Counselor Staley to get back? I think we're ready for a motion. No, we
Yep.
need a public hearing on it anyway,
Thank you.
so we can move forward. Thank you, Carl. Okay, Jason, hold tight. Let's open this public hearing on item 5C, ordinance number 1995, RZ 26-001, consideration to rezone approximately 1.07 acres from R158 to R16. Anybody in the public that would like to comment about it? Okay, seeing none, we will close this public hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. The public hearing's still open. Please, come forward. Sorry about that. And once again, please state your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Sultan Abbas. I'm a citizen of the city of Kingman. I'm the property owner, and I'm the applicant. When I was in the due diligence, when I'm buying the property, I went through the whole due diligence with this city, and then they informed me that this street does not need to be improved due to being maintained by this city. The property to the west side of my property had been already built 2 years ago in 2023, 3 years ago. The one north of it has been already built. The northwest corner has already been built as well. None of those buildings has required the street to be improved. So I was following the same strategy the city have asked me to from day one. And then when I bought it based on the R15, hoping to build a small unit, which is, I know you don't like it, but the city also informed me that they recommend and almost require to rezone, but I guess required to rezone, it's not an optional, which is something I didn't really want to do, but I guess I had to. So I went through the whole process, and then I was hoping for approval. If you have any question.
Okay, thank you, Sultan.
My pleasure.
We're good. Any other questions? Sorry I missed that. Any comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll close that public hearing on item 5C. Council, any more questions for Jason?
I have one more question for Jason. The surrounding parcels, just based off of the applicant's information, those surrounding parcels, when they go to improve their property, they will have to rezone as well?
There's 2 other parcels that are
Right.
associated with this. They would
Yeah.
have to rezone as well as.
Okay.
Yes.
So this will go into that category, the same as it will be the low density.
It'll be medium density.
Or medium density, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Okay.
If you think the parcel to the south would probably develop similarly.
Sure.
And then the parcel to the east, certainly a larger parcel, so.
Okay, all right. So we are improving that whole area eventually.
As ownerships
To
come
be-
forward.
Yes, okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Seeing no more comments or questions, let's have a motion then, approving item 5C, ordinance number 1995.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second by Vice Mayor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5D, public hearing for accelerated public improvements, Flying Fortress Parkway Phase 2, ENG 25-0079, continued from the April 7, 2026 meeting. Ordinance number 1987, adopted by City Council on January 6, 2026, incorporated accelerated public improvements into the City of Kingman streets and sidewalks, development rules and regulations. Staff has notified property owners of parcels adjacent to Flying Fortress Parkway and Airway Avenue regarding the preliminary assessment costs associated with the project. These costs may be assessed to property owners upon project completion if they elect to develop their property within 10 years of this public hearing. The final assessment amount will be determined based on the actual construction cost of the project. Staff recommends that the council accept public comments and direct staff to continue with the accelerated public improvements assessments. Thanks, Annie. Robert, welcome again.
Okay, Flying Fortress Parkway. There was some discussion before about the quality of the roads. This will be a quality road, thanks to you guys being willing to spend the extra $3 million to do it in concrete. So, the assessment proposal was brought, as you said, April 7th, and there was direction from the council and also some input from the citizens to look at a couple of alternative assessment methodologies. Option one, which was basically what we brought back in April 7th, was assessing the full project, which is the Flying Fortress Parkway and Airway, assessing the full project based on frontage. So in other words, if there was a parcel that comprised 1/4 of the total frontage, they would pay approximately 1/4 of the assessment. One of the options that was suggested that we looked at subsequently is option two, which was again assessing the full cost of the full project, but instead of basing it upon frontage, it was based upon area within a ½ mile either side of the road. The third option was basically similar to option one, except limiting the assessments to north of Grand Canyon Road. And the logic behind that was that originally the ADOT project building the interchange was going to extend up to Grand Canyon. The city, when we decided to construct it in concrete, we brought a proposal to ADOT to basically convert what they were going to build in asphalt up to Grand Canyon into concrete. But the district office opted to instead do a no-cost change order, which basically meant that because obviously concrete is more expensive, that we could only go up to between Lamar and Grand Canyon, not all the way up to Grand Canyon in concrete, and then we had to basically do the rest of it from Lamar to Grand Canyon as part of our project. So those are the three options that were looked at. This is just a map of the general area. Again, from Grand Canyon South was originally part of the project that ADOT was going to do. Now ours starts a little bit north of Lamar, and the extent on Airway is unaffected. It hasn't changed. So here's option one, which was the original proposal. Properties would be assessed based on their frontage on either Airway or Flying Fortress. And just looking at the corner, the southwest corner of Airway and Flying Fortress, there's a large parcel there it's all under one ownership. It's basically got about a ½ mile frontage on both Flying Fortress and Airway. And the project is about 2 miles in total length. So multiplying by 2, since there's 2 frontages, that's about 4 miles of total frontage. So that one property owner would have been assessed about 1/4 of the cost of the entire project based on frontage. Now, by comparison, oops, I went too far. By comparison, option two, which was going to be based on area within a ½ mile of either side of Flying Fortress and Airway, that same property is basically a ½ mile square. And if you just look at the general map, you got about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe about 5 ½ mile square areas in total. So instead of that property paying 1/4 of the assessment. When you do it by area, it only pays 1/5 of the assessment. And the net effect of that is that the parcels in the south end, which is basically Ranchitas and the property east of Flying Fortress across from it, absorbed the extra cost. So the other effect is that all, 48 or whatever individual parcels making up Ranchitas now got assessed. So every parcel in there would have a lien against it if they went to develop it. So that really had an adverse effect on the properties at the south end of the project. The third option, like I said, is basically the same as option 1, except it deletes the assessments south of Grand Canyon. And the logic behind that is that that was originally part of the ADOT project, which was awarded and was already under construction before our ordinance was adopted. So it's kind of a little shaky as far as whether that should be assessed or not. And the important thing to notice is that in that last column over there, the unassessed cost is 1.9 million. At first glance, it's kind of like the city's going to absorb the 1.9 million in extra cost because it's not being assessed. But that 1.9 million is what we would have had to pay ADOT to do concrete up to Grand Canyon. So as far as the city's concerned, it's pretty much a wash. But as far as the property owners are concerned, it definitely helps them. They're not being assessed for that 660 feet down there. So to summarize the options, here's the way they look. And basically, if you compare option 1 and option 3, virtually everybody gets assessed the same amount except those properties at the south end, which actually get assessed less under option 3. There any questions?
Thank you, Robert.
Dropping
Any
out of the
questions?
plane.
Councilor Dykens? Yeah, thank you.
You said that 1.9 is a wash. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Okay, if like our original proposal to ADOT was to do the same limits up to Grand Canyon, but do it in concrete rather than asphalt, okay? But they decided that they wanted a no-cost change order. So basically, they cut the project down to where the cost of doing it in concrete to a little bit north of Lamar was equal to the savings by not doing it in asphalt, what it would have cost to do it in asphalt all the way to Grand Canyon. So if they had done what we asked, they would have come back and said, that's costing us 1.9 million extra. City has to pay that since you're the one requesting it. So we would have had to pay them 1.9 million there if they had just done it in concrete. The savings or the assessments using option 3, which is basically deleting assessments south of Grand Canyon, there's going to be 1.9 million of construction costs to the city that is not going to be recovered by assessments. So that's costing us 1.9 million. If ADOT had done it in concrete, we would have had to pay them 1.9 million. So either way, the city, is ultimately paying 1.9 million. And of course, this is based on the assumption that all the assessment, it develops totally within 10 years and all the assessments get paid.
Counselor? Good? Okay. Any other questions or comments for Robert about this?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor Savage.
So going to Grand Canyon would be asphalt either way, no matter what now, correct?
No, it's concrete.
Oh, it's what's the areas you said is gonna be asphalt? It's
Then nothing's,
Nothing.
well, Airway is gonna be asphalt, but entire Flying Fortress is gonna be concrete.
okay, so then that sets one precedence. Airway, we at this point do not know what type of businesses, as far as commercial type of businesses, are gonna be going up and down Airway there. Is there gonna be any weight restrictions on that?
Not that I know of.
Because if we go asphalt with Airway and we're doing concrete on Flying Fortress, there's gotta be a way to keep those loads lighter.
So at this point, we don't have that, but that is something that we could bring to council. If council would like that, we can look at weight restrictions for internal streets and those types of things. As of right now, the main truck traffic that we anticipate is from the interchange out to the industrial park. Is it possible that some of that could go down Airway? There's always that possibility. I think it's just a matter of how we frame it, how we enforce it, and those types of things. So it's something that we could look into further and bring back to council.
I would like that. Thanks.
By the way, just as a matter of information, we did bid a third alternate the second time we bid it, which was concrete on both streets, but it got a little steep.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor. Any other questions? Okay, Vice Mayor?
Well, I just have comments.
Okay.
Not necessarily questions. Thanks for the time and effort that you put into this, Robert. I feel like this is a good compromise. The goal is to get this property developed. That's the goal. And I have compassion for the property owners, I mean, I think option 3 is where I'm leaning to support, because I feel like that is a good compromise for the property owners. We've heard from the citizens that developers have to, pay their fair share. And had it not been for the development of that interchange out there, that property would not be as sought after as it will be come September, October. The city, we ended up having to pay monies, and that $20 million that came from the state only covered a third of it. So, we had to put up some money to get this project off the ground and get that interchange out there so we could develop out there. I'm looking at the long term. I really am. I'm looking at considering all the businesses that can go on along that area, the jobs that we can bring in. We heard lots of people talk about, we got to have something for people to do. We got to have the industry that comes in that brings the jobs, bring the rooftops, and then all that commercial development to follow the rooftops. So that's where I'm leaning. So those were my comments. But I want to thank you for the effort that you put into this. It was very comprehensive, and I feel like it gave us a good picture of all the options.
Thanks. Along those lines, that's one of the things I was thinking during the discussion before, where the money is going to come from for the roads and everything. There's $22 million of assessments that are going to get paid back that can be put into other street improvements.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay.
Okay, seeing no other questions, let's open this as a public hearing. I'd like to open a public hearing on item 5D, a public hearing for accelerated public improvements, Flying Fortress Parkway Phase 2, ENG 25-0079. Is there anybody that would like to comment on it or come forward on it? This is a public hearing. Okay, seeing none, we will close this public hearing on item 5D. Council, I agree with Vice Mayor. I like option number 3. And I agree with what she said. That's sort of my feelings on it. Councilor Likens? You were sort of looking at me like you've been doing before that you want to speak.
Yes, I do, actually. I'm leaning on option 3 also, but for slightly different reasons. This was the agreement at the beginning with the landowners that we're talking about closest to the Flying Fortress or the overpass. To me, fairness, unfairness, it does play, to me, it plays part of this, for the fact that if it wasn't already agreed on from the get-go, I would go other ways, but because it was agreed on, and we were the ones that changed it, or somehow it was changed to be different, yes, I understand the concrete is the only way to go, but still, us changing it, to me, falls on us. And so that's why I'm in favor of option 3 rather than 1 or 2.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none. Oh, I'm
Thought you were
sorry.
gonna call me. It's getting late, it's okay. I just wanted to add that I do agree, with option 3. I think I agree with what the Vice Mayor said. It is a good compromise. I appreciate staff taking the time to, look at option 2 so we could see how that really impacts the, property owners, and then to give us, the option 3 and the additional information tonight. So, that's where I will be. That's the item I'll be, supporting.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Counselor Ward or Counselor Savage, we're good? Okay, good. Can we have a motion then on item 5D, approving 5D public hearing for accelerated public improvements, Flying Fortress Parkway Phase 2, ENG 25-0079.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Item number 6, department reports. 6A, legislative update. Tim, it's late. Is Tom with us still, or?
Still got him.
I see he's there.
Oh, we can't hear him though.
Welcome, Tom.
We can't hear you.
It doesn't look like he's muted. IT, is there anything we can do to hear him?
Tom's not here.
He's there. He's up on the screen. He was just a minute ago. But his audio's not working. There he is.
No.
Nope, not yet.
Can you sign, Tom?
Looks like he was gonna call in.
Maybe. Do we want to go on to item B while he's calling in? Oh, we good? Oh, we got him, okay.
We'll go ahead and move on. The mayor excused himself for just a minute. We're going to go on to department reports. Item B, Beale Street Trees Update Report. Jack, that would be you, I guess?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Vice Mayor, members of the council. So I was requested to come back with a report on the trees on downtown Beale. In the streetscape area, we do have a handful that are brown rather than green. And so I do want to take just a quick minute. I know you guys have been busy all night. Last summer, spring coming, we had a handful that didn't look great. And so we had brought in a arborist. We actually pulled some soil samples. We took samples of the trees. We worked with the ag office downtown to get those checked out, checking for disease and other things. We did some soil samples. At that time, the arborist felt that the trees would come back, and so we did include the contractor that did the downtown streetscape for us. in that process. The contractor, the landscape contractor actually came back, did some soil amendments, did some changes to the irrigation and things to help bring those back. About half those trees did come back healthy. There's half of them that did not come back at all or did not come back fully. And so we actually met with them. I was hoping to have an actual date for you this evening that they'll be coming back to do those replacements. I don't have that at the moment. Part of that is going to be sourcing the trees, finding those. But there's, I think, 18 trees in total. I don't remember the exact number, but that includes the actual trees that are dead and crispy, and then also some of the trees that didn't fully come back in this round. So they are in process of getting replaced. And so with that, I'd try and answer any questions you may have.
Any questions, Councilor Saley?
And those replacement trees, those are covered under warranty?
Yes.
Good, okay. Thank you for your report. Everyone will be happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving, any other questions or comments for Jack? Real good. Oh, are we ready for Tom? Tom, are you there? Nope. Still no volume.
Let's go to C.
City manager, what do you want to do? We should just move on and let Tom off the hook for tonight?
We can do that. Tom did provide, I can just give a couple of the highlights.
Okay.
He had, let's see if I can, it looks like the Republican budget will be sent up to the governor today and likely vetoed. The Senate is gone until next week. House will likely adjourn today and off until next week. The bill moratorium is still active, so we're still needing to fight that one, the one that basically says no fee increases for 4 years. Let's see, the Prop 123 continuation and House HR 1 conformity are still big contentious items. Those are still things that they're working on there. And then transportation project funding does not look promising at this point. We'll know more as we get close to April and get those numbers on what they collected with taxes as we get those numbers in May. So
okay,
that was the gist of it. Did I do good, Tom?
Okay. Well,
Thanks,
Tom, thank you for sending that to the city manager. Oh, yes.
What was
Councilor.
that on RC 2016, you said?
So that is the bill
Yeah, I
moratorium.
know what it
So
is.
it's still active. So it hasn't been killed just yet. It's still out there. It hasn't been approved, but it also hasn't died, so.
Go ahead and continue with, since you brought it up for the public, what bill is that
So
again?
HR 2016, basically it's a bill that's out there that would limit any fee increases by any municipality for the next 4 years. So
Okay.
it would restrict that. That includes water rates, solid waste, wastewater, sales tax, all of those things that would restrict the city from being able to increase those for the next 4 years, which on the face sounds great, right? No new increases or taxes, but the problem is those services are funded through those rates, through those rate increases. If we're restricted on being able to increase those rates at all, that money has to come from somewhere, so then we start pulling from other places. The biggest expense for general fund is police and fire, so there's the concern that in order to spread our costs, it may impact, our public safety as well, so.
Okay. Thank you, City Manager. Tom, once again, thank you. Appreciate it. We hope to hear from you soon. We'll get this all worked out. Okay. Moving on to item 6C, Kingman Crossing Residence Basin Concerns Department Report. Jack, welcome again.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. So I bring this back to you guys. It was brought up by some residents, some of which are here this evening. I see I am intentionally not addressing a single basin because this issue applies across many basins that the city has adopted for maintenance through development. So one of the first things that I want to touch on is the requirements for those. So there is some type of stormwater attenuation through retention or detention that's required through that development. And so there are ponds that are built based on the old city standard. We would adopt those. Moving forward, those should be adopted through HOAs or some other means. They won't be ours for maintenance. But we do have dozens of those that are actually in the city system currently that are very similar to this particular site that was requested or brought up by the residents, with the exception, one exception is unique or not unique to this particular one, but a handful, which is the access to the open space that is adjacent or behind this basin. And so we did look at the development standards. Fencing was not required. Fencing is typically required because of water depth. That was brought up. There are some basins in other areas, say east of Eastern, Brenda, Cherry area that do have fencing around those. That's because of the depth of the water at their full mark exceeds the limit. Some of that's also dependent on the grades going into that basin itself. This particular basin we went and looked at, and it was not required to have a fence. That would have been reviewed during development, and that would be based on the side slopes and then also the depth of the water. Myself and our public works director at the time went out and actually looked at that after the inquiry to council was received, looked at the depth, double checked that against the plans, and would not require a fence. And so the reason I bring that up is if we go back to fence this one, there are multiple areas, multiple other basins that meet the same criteria. And so we would have to look at each one of those and, time, cost, everything that's associated with trying to make the same improvements. Carl could probably weigh in for me, but if we address it in one area and we don't address it consistently, that in itself creates or generates a liability. And so the concern for individuals playing in the water, as far as fencing it off to keep them out of there from a public safety standpoint, the basin did not meet the criteria to fence it. If people are going and playing in that area, they're doing so on their own.
Can I, one question, what is your, when you say it didn't meet depth requirements for fencing, what is that? For example, what's that measurement?
So off the top of my head, I can't remember at this moment, but I think it was like 30 inches from the bottom of the pond to the maximum water depth. And so if you exceed that level, then you have to have it fenced. And so, anyway, again, this is the same style of basin that's used throughout Kingman, both in private and public basins. And so the other item that was brought up.
Jack, if I may, just real quick. Sure. It is both depth and slope. So, and this is generally reviewed on the engineering side. So as the development comes through, engineering looks at that based on the depth and the slope coming out. It determines whether or not fencing is required, and this one did not meet those requirements. So.
Thank you, Manager Walsh. So the one piece that was another item that was brought up for this one that we do have in a handful around, which is easier to manage, is the access across that. There is a walkway adjacent to this basin that actually goes to a green space designation behind it, which is kind of in alignment with Castle Rock. The concern was motorized vehicles in there. I was hoping to have them up at the time we made it to this meeting, but they are going up in place is no motorized vehicle access in that section. And so that will be going up. As far as the fencing to the basin, seeking some direction at that point. If we look at one, look at all, do we work with the property owners? We have not approached them at this moment. If there's a means for them to, if they want to fence that, work through those property owners with that option. And so with that, I'll try and answer any questions.
So you just in that last statement, I think you said it. So if the property owners wanted to get together in that neighborhood, because to them it seems to be a nuisance, if they wanted to put a fence across the back of that and they got together and helped pay for that, they could do that. Well, obviously with, you have to pull a permit, or if it's under 6 feet, you don't have to pull, but no, it is city land, so they'd have to get our permission, obviously.
Yeah, there'd be some items to work through if that's the option that both council and the property owners wanted to pursue. And that leaves it locally to those individual neighborhoods, because again, just in this neighborhood alone, there's probably 4 basins in that neighborhood in different sections of the development itself, but that would leave it up to those individual neighborhoods to look at.
Right. And of course, the issue with this one, once again, as you mentioned it, is it accesses that green space. So unfortunately, it does seem a fair amount of traffic. If it were just foot traffic, it probably wouldn't be such a problem. But because of motorized vehicles, that's, we're taking a step in the right direction to put signage up to counteract that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mayor, if you want, I can just jump in. There's a lot of language being thrown about that it's a public nuisance. It's not a public nuisance
true.
because someone says it is. It's a public nuisance if it's not meeting standards. So we have engineering standards for a reason. We have the design standards. We review these. We make sure they're complying with the standards. It's not a public nuisance just because someone believes it is. If the community wants to, that local folks want to deal with this by donating however they want to work with it, I think the city can do that, but we just want to make sure we understand it's not a public nuisance because someone says it is.
No, thanks, Carl. Thanks for correcting me. So, okay. Any other questions? Yes, Councilor Savage.
I think this is going to be more for Carl. With this particular property, and thanks for bringing it up, that there's multiple situations that are similar, we're basically threatened with possible lawsuits. And if this is one area, and we have not heard from those other areas, I honestly feel that we've done our due diligence, and if they want to do what they want with their track, so to speak, I'm for them taking care of themselves.
The only,
But I'm just worried about opening a can of worms there.
and I would say, as we look to allowing some kind of modification, we have to consider what kind of liabilities we may generate with these modifications and who would be responsible for any issues that may or may not arise from that. So it's not just a simple, we're going to do this. Sure. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying there's always situations that can arise when you're making some of these changes. So it'd be something we just have to look at.
Counselor, good. Anybody else?
One thing to talk about with these basins are completed during the time of construction of that subdivision. And so those are existing, as homes are being permitted, built, and then ultimately sold.
Okay. No, I think having talked to some of the citizens in that area, I think their biggest concern is the fact that because it's right next to that green space, then sometimes vehicles, small UTVs, motorcycles will ride then into that drainage area. And I think that's why they're looking at, they'd like to have a fence across there, but to keep those vehicles out. I don't know, once again, these are things we have to consider what Carl just said too, as far as liabilities. I mean, and we as a city, since we've accepted it, we are responsible for it.
Correct.
So, anyway, but we are open to working with the citizens in that community, in that area. So, okay. Any other questions? Thanks, Jack, for that report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it. Okay, item number 7, announcements by Mayor.
Can we make a comment?
No, there's
Not
in department reports.
Not a department report. Actually,
Because a picture's worth 1,000 words. The man said 24 inches. This is over 3 feet deep.
Mayor,
we can't, I'm sorry, we can't.
I can speak to you after.
Yeah. What you will need to do is next city council, come with public comment, and if you'd like to do it, that's how you would address that.
So I'm backtracking to where we were last month.
Well, you showed us all your pictures. We need to stop the discussion on this, but you already showed us all that. I know council is aware of it.
It is 12 feet deep,
So,
and I almost got run over by the motorcycles.
okay.
They go through.
Once again, please come next time for public comment and comment on that. Thank you.
We will be sure to reach out before next time.
Yes,
Obviously,
I know we
we'll
are.
reach out and we'll
We're
work with
reaching
you.
out.
You guys need to come and take a look at this. I guarantee you, some kid is going to get, well, as a matter of fact, you were there. There's already a memorial for a kid who got killed back there.
Sir, this portion is over.
Yeah, we need to move on. Thank you.
See you in court.
And item number 7, announcements by mayor, council members, and city manager. Senator Manager Walsh.
Thank you, Mayor. Some good news, or interesting. I think it's pretty impressive. The chamber has done it again, over 10,000 this last First Friday. So pretty impressive. a sea of people. You go down there was all sorts of people, you know, a lot of people everywhere you could see, a lot of businesses there, a lot of representation. So really, really good time down there. And then the fun run had just over 9,000. So a lot going on downtown this past weekend. It was pretty fun. So thank you.
Thank you, Manager Walsh. Councilor Savage? Okay. Vice Mayor? I'm sorry, I'll pick on you later. Councilor Ward? Councilor Staley?
I know it's late, but I just want to say I attended First Friday. I attended the fun run, the lighting of the Beale hotel sign this weekend. And after listening to so many negative comments about our community, I almost feel like I live in a different town than some of those people. I felt an overwhelming amount of pride in my community this weekend, just seeing all these people come together and having such a great time, enjoying our community. You know, I think Kingman is a great place to live, and sure, it's not perfect, but show me a town that is. And so, I just couldn't hold it in. I think Kingman's great. We had a wonderful weekend. It's not just one weekend. There's so much to do here, so many things going on. People are really working hard whether it's nonprofits, it's groups like the Chamber, Kingman Main Street. Everybody's working so hard in this community, and I think there's a lot of citizens that seem to be missing that. And I feel sorry for them for that, because they're missing all the good things. So that's all I wanted to say.
Councilor, thank you for those comments. Councilor Dykens? Okay, Vice Mayor? I just want to mention and recognize the fact that our city magistrate, Judge Jeff Singer, won the Copper Sword Award. Not won, he was awarded and recognized for what he has done for our Veterans Court. And it was recognized by the Arizona Veterans Society and down in Phoenix. I was able to attend that luncheon with him on Friday. And then, of course, thank you, Councilor, for mentioning First Friday was great. So many people down here. Fun run, amazing. And I know, Councilor Ward, you had a lot to do with that. Appreciate that, representing us all. And then on Sunday, I just wanted to give an honorable mention to the fact that I attended over at the high school at 2 o'clock our Kingman Community Orchestra. And they try to put on performances every 6 months. So the next one will be in September, I think. So anyway, their season, however they do it. But there was a lot of people there, but there's room for a lot more people. And I just wanted to say that was a great event to go to. And once again, thanks for all the comments. We appreciate the public being here tonight. I have nothing more. Item number 8, council requests for future reports and updates. Seeing none? Okay. Item number 9, executive.
Yeah.
Yes, Councilor.
I gotta look at my notes. Previously, Mr. Shea brought up El Paso Gas. Can you look up El Paso Gas and see how that ties into this area? I'd like to know that. Because if there's I just can't imagine another utility, so I'm not sure.
Carl will
what that
not
is.
let me respond tonight, but absolutely I will get that information to you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Counselor. Anything else? Okay, item number 9, executive session. 9A, city manager annual evaluation. The city council may go into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A1 to discuss the city manager's annual evaluation, discussion and possible action. Can we have a motion then to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are in we will go into executive session. Once again, thanks for everybody being here tonight. I know it's been a long meeting. Andy, you want to let us know when we're ready? Okay, we are back from executive session, and we have decided to continue this discussion to the next city council meeting, which will be on what day, 19th? On the 19th. So can we have a motion then for that change in discussion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No one is. Good night. Thank you all.